Now that's an introduction to danger. Hello, welcome to... Whoa! Hello, thank you so much, Scruff. Thank you so much, Kung Fu Fenris, for the subscriptions. Welcome to RPG Clinic, Blades in the Dark, Session 3 of our little mini campaign called Whispers in the Water. My name is Scott. From left to right here we have Kate, John, and Elizabeth. Welcome!
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, thanks. Thanks for happy to be here.
You're so welcome. Did you need a ride home? Or?
Yes, please.
Okay, good. Just checking.
No, you live here now.
Oh, Gersh. Requiem. So kind. Thank you so much.
Very kind.
Delicious.
Is there a hype train? Oh shit. Is it time for me to subscribe to?
Might be.
Y'all
I think
are
you only
so
resub last session or
freaking
something.
kind. What the heck is even going on here?
Where's my...
That's the one.
Where's Tweech?
Oh, wrong place.
I love watching the auto captions while Scott is speaking specifically.
Is it always a bit of a cluster?
It's just so polite.
It's so polite. Well, I think that perhaps I...
Oh, it's not time for me to resubscribe.
No.
You should be able to, like... No, I see why they don't do that. I was going to say they should be able to, like, prepay for some subs and then like, put them in whenever you want to start a hype train, but that's not how that
That's
works.
what bits are for.
That is true, too.
Hello.
Good evening, Cthulhu and all et al. Welcome.
Cthulhu!
Right? There you go.
Hey!
It's like Q to Q, but it's Q to who. Honestly,
Hello.
that's how Q to Q feels. It feels like an eldritch horror.
That honestly is fair. Cthulhu, for some context, we all work at various degrees in the theater, and there's a part of the technical process called the Q to Q, which is often abbreviated Q to Q. You all understand.
Yeah.
You might. You'd think so, Kung Fu Fenders, but it's always a little bit of an exciting adrenaline rush to go live. You know what I mean? We weren't here last Sunday. I was a little under the weather. I also, had a coughing fit earlier, but like, seems good. I've
Do you
been
have your
chugging
lozenges
tea.
in...
I don't know,
reach?
but I also don't want to go into the
Well, you suck them,
microphone.
you don't chomp them.
Hashtag sub.
Oh, thanks. Very kind. Hashtag sucks, hashtag chomp. What are we talking about?
Yeah, what are we
Hi,
talking
Ellie
about?
Spawn. Yeah, we're all pros now. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, we weren't here last Sunday, which was unfortunate, but we did manage to get in a sort of semi-sesh
Yeah.
on Discordia. On Discord.
You're reading the screen.
Every time.
Discord.
I'm trying to hide.
RPG Clinic
on
Discord.
RPG Clinic Discord.
Oh my god.
Nice catch and
Wow.
throw.
Thanks. Brand.
Store brand.
Store brand. It's my favorite kind.
Yeah, you can head over to the,
Semi.
I think,
Jesus.
BITD.
It's actually very funny.
Yeah, I don't know what the channel name is offhand.
I think it's
see
BITD.
happenings.
I see
See
happenings.
happenings.
Thank you.
Great.
Yes, so we had a half session, which was the crew returning their score information to their contact Rowan, or one of their now many contacts Rowan, which we played out on Discord, which I think is a cool kind of thing. I know in the past we have had writings, fiction. And fan fiction as a part of our campaigns. It was a nice sort of ability to at least play a bit because we had to miss a session. So there you go.
Cthulhu, I can answer this question. Scott, use it as a segue, quick!
Quick, what color cards are you talking about? Well, that's a very important thing to discuss. It's safety. Wham!
So first we're just going to go through what these cards are, and then I'll answer your question, Cthulhu. These are the cards that we use in order to make sure that we can roleplay to the max while still maintaining safety for all of us. You don't have cards, you do have options. We'll get to that in a second. We're showing the green card, it means everything's going all right. Everything's copacetic. I am enthusiastically consenting to what's going on and ready to continue. As long as the yellow card is being held up, the pause card, that means I need everybody at the table to pay attention to me. There's something important I have to say. Once I put the card down, play can continue. However, if the red or stop card is up, that means I am not feeling okay to continue. Play will stop and will only resume once everybody at the table feels safe to continue playing. You don't have cards, but you do have options. You can always private message RPGClinic. We'll all see it. We have the chat in front of us that we can see. You can also message one of our mods. Right now we have Kung Fu Fenris, who is right here. Safety Wolf will be glad to take your message. But no matter what, you can always leave chat or turn off the stream. We don't want to see you go, but we do want you to prioritize your own safety and well-being.
That said, thank you.
Yeah.
We have used our cards. You will often see us flash the green card, the play card. This is a way for us to be like, even though I'm expressing frustration or sadness or other such emotions, me, the player, I'm good to go. My character may not be so happy right now. We have had a few pauses. A big notable one was just before Scott was going to take an action that none of us were thrilled as, like, in the player mindset of we want to do good. It wasn't a super, like...
Scott was Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It was a tough choice.
Yeah, it was a tough choice. And so he did a pause action before doing so, which is a really cool use of it. But we've had it a few other times.
Medical reasons are a big one. Like if we're just not feeling 100% and maybe we want to flag that for the rest of the table.
Our one red card was me pulling for medical reasons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can pin.
You can pin shit.
Twitch
to the top of
Twitch
chat.
Updated. Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
So red cards. Safety doesn't necessarily mean I'm feeling threatened by another player or I don't like what's happening in game. It can very simply be no, I'm serious. We have to stop right now.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as dinner's here. We all go off. But probably I wouldn't use a safety card for that.
That's not for safety cards.
I used it once when I was experiencing pain and discomfort and didn't really want to be on stream being like, I think I'm going to be sick. I was just like, I pulled a red card. Once the safety demonstration is done, I don't actually pull the cards up because it's assumed that now they're live. But I pulled a card to basically say, I have to stop. Everything's okay, but I have to stop.
Yeah. It's a shorthand for us, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
Man.
It is. It absolutely is. Actually, to that end, I'll sort of demonstrate. I'm going to use this yellow pause card to let everybody know that I am still on the tail end of a bit of a viral or throat illness. So I might have a coughing fit tonight. I hope not to. I've got all sorts of tricks of the trade down here by my feet. But yeah, you'll mute me and I might disappear. We might even go to a BRB screen.
And
thank you very much.
And if you need to, of course, we can pause the game, pick up whenever, and don't feel.
This is just my ploy to
like
get us to
you
play
have to
exclusively on Discord. Social media play forever.
If you do just listen, then you may miss the cards.
We don't always say play, pause, stop. So
that's it.
Yeah.
I am kidding, Kung Fu Fenris. That's not who we are. That's not what we're about here on RPG Clinic.
What are we about?
We're about safety and we're about fun and we're about role playing. We're about elevating your
game.
So rude. What the hell?
And trying to help answer questions along the way.
That's it. Absolutely. Before we
Thanks for the question though.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do things in a bit of an odd order, if that's all right with everybody at the table. I want to talk downtime before we do a little synopsis of last session and a half, because then that'll transition nicely into the game. I think it'll feel more like we're role-playing as opposed to downtime. What is this? Flashback mechanic. I'm wondering how difficult it would be to implement in other games. Oh, I think the flashback mechanic is awesome. It's very, hey, thank you for the subscription. The flashback mechanic, I think the point of it is to make the game feel like a heist movie or a TV show in a lot of ways, right? Because they've planned for every eventuality, right? And in a game, you can't know what the facilitator is going to throw at you. But I did plan for this eventuality. Here's how. It's like it's a way of having the players be able to, or having the PCs be able to interact with things that they wouldn't normally be able to interact with, which I think is a cool mechanic. Okay, let's get back to it. So at the on our session on Discord, which you can read at on our Discord at the BITDIC Happenings channel, we were turning in a score, or at least most of one. If I recall correctly, there was maybe more to go back to Rowan after tonight. But that marks the end of a score, which means that it is now in the downtime phase before some free play, before heading into another engagement roll and another score. What were people going to do? I'm going to start at that end of the table.
Hello. I would like to train in resolve. So mark one of my little ticks for resolve.
So as a shadow, you don't get to mark 2 tracks because it's not. But it's not your sort of favored category.
No, it's very sad.
It is what it is. But okay, is that for? Are you gearing up for something?
I think I'm saving up for another dot of a tune.
Unbelievable.
Because we got social McGee's over here. Like they got covered. I just need to never leave their side ever.
Okay. All right. Okay. So.
Or in Zane's case, literally climb on his back.
Party. Is that cloak big enough to hide 3 people? 3 kids in a trench cloak?
That's what my scarf is for.
Yeah.
Scarf. That's really good. It's like a big infinity scarf. Sorry, please go on.
The other thing I'm going to do is continue to work on my long-term project of investigating the voices in the canal.
Excellent. So, back in our first session, whilst on the Silver Sun Pleasure barge, Waif got attuned to the ghost field and got a sense that there were some voices coming from beneath the water.
Yeah, they were calling for help.
And this has been a project that Waif...
You can say obsession.
Sure. Yeah, Waif's been obsessed with it. And if I recall correctly, Waif brought some long sticks out to the canal.
She thought about that, but ended up just jumping into the water and treading water.
That image was so strong in my mind. It's like all the way across and you're like scuttling along like some sort of horrible sea crab.
She wants to be able to dodge any gondolas that come her way, so she figured...
Don't speed. They're
motor gondolas.
They don't have a motor.
Motor gondolas not allowed in this canal.
No, that sounds good to me. So, in that case, please roll me your attune. Your highest result will determine how... Oh, I should mention, of course, this is a 6-segment clock. You've already ticked 2 sections on it. Let's see how we go.
Ooh, a 1 and a 4.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 4.
Your highest result is a 4, a quote-unquote partial success. This will mark 2 more tracks.
All right.
But we're getting there.
4 out of 6.
We're feeling good. I would say with the return at a specific hour of the night and with Waif's sort of resolve and powers of attuning to the ghost field growing, that instinct that Waif has is able to, like, you know, you're able to slip into it perhaps a bit more easily. And the voices are still very muddled and very distant, but they are becoming clearer. And it is clear to you that there are many. Mm-hmm. That's becoming clearer. Although what they're saying and you know, in what tone, it's still too distant.
They're singing the entire show of Sweeney Todd.
Correct, yes.
These are my friends.
I wouldn't have expected song time here, but whatever works. Cool. I'll pass the downtime along to John.
I'm training in prowess, which is not a big stretch for me. I do it a lot.
You are very prowessful.
I'm feeling a little stressed out. I think it's time for me to pay a visit to the Centralia Club.
Okay.
Where I just might boast a little bit about my exploits.
Unbelievable. This is a way that Zane has of sort of getting rid of some stress, right? By proving that he's the best. Now, we have had a bit of an issue before. I think Zane overindulged to the point where people started to hear a little too much about your exploits, and it brought some heat down on the gang. But we're doing okay so far. Then in that case, let's go for it. You can roll, please, your lowest attribute. Great. Your highest result will be the amount of stress that you clear.
So by attribute, you mean insight, prowess, or resolve?
Correct. Yeah. Exactly.
So I got big 1 in my insight.
Not ideal, but
I rolled 6.
Ooh.
My man. How much stress did you have?
Better lucky than good. I had 6 stress.
Very nice.
I do agree, by the way. Better lucky than good. That's my motto. I live by it every day of the week. You may clear all of your stress.
Oh, thank fuck.
to stress him out today. I'm going to move move the downtime on.
I
to
eat stress for breakfast. It's
I,
bad for my heart.
rather similarly to my colleagues, I trained in Resolve, so I've added a tick to my track, and I am also going to try to reduce stress. My advice is an obligation to a former coworker over at the legal offices of Booker, Claremont, and Savoy.
Is it Booker, Claremont, or Savoy, or is it somebody? I think it's probably not one of the three of them.
One of the others, yeah. Probably like maybe the next in line sort of thing.
Okay, very nice.
I'm trying to make partner here.
Yeah, exactly. And I had just recently name dropped them on our last score, so I may be following up on what I started.
Your friend does indeed report that the inspector, who I desperately want to call Inspector Gamache, and that's not his name.
Just do it.
No.
Volai.
Volai,
yeah.
sure. Is it chicken or a poultry or
Still
something?
wing-
I think it's
still wing?
poultry in French?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, this guy. Who comes up with this shit? He's serious about his role-playing. Okay. This is good. Inspector Volai has indeed referred the Eruvian ambassador, one of the newly arrived, Eruvian ambassadors, to the offices of Booker, Claremont,
And Savoy.
I
made it up, okay?
No, it's good. It was good. And your contact, your friend, your old acquaintance, perhaps your old working colleague, is also feeling a bit stressed with this new arrival of legal entanglements and would love some help, would love your expertise. You may roll your lowest attribute, which is a big one, and that will be
2.
Okay. You may remove 2 stress. Wait, how much did you have?
6.
Aha! Okay. That's a nice amount, isn't it? Good. Okay. So that's our downtime.
I do have one other thing.
Yes.
We have a total of enough gold now to level up our crew. We can go to the next tier.
Once your rep reaches 12, once your rep reaches the top of the bar, you may pay gold to do so.
What's our rep at?
Our rep's at 4. Did we
Should
get
be
any
go up to
rep?
6. Sorry, yes, it should be +2. Thank you.
All right.
A big miss.
Yeah, he literally just hucked it down the hallway, which makes no sense. Like,
No, watch
this
me
is
go
not a
into
thing.
on it later. It's
You
gonna
got
be
it
great.
exactly where you want it.
This is not a
Exactly.
thing that is typically done in this household.
Wizard is
But he's in character.
Kate's like, I promise, we don't normally just eat.
You can reduce the amount of rep you require to advance the tier of your crew by accumulating turf, which is a score. It means going out and finding more turf for your gang to sort of run around on, and
I
it's
think
like
we
a
better get our
playground.
publican back.
I tend to agree. I
Take
think
over
this
the
is
fucking
something you
cellar
wanted to do,
hazard.
right?
I would love to stomp on turf.
I'm going to pull a Henry Cavill and
honestly,
just go...
let's go.
Yes.
Is that a
No, no,
Superman? Or
In one of the Mission Impossible
Mission
movies,
Impossibles?
Henry Cavill was in a fight, and at one point he stands up and he like cocks his fists.
Like guns?
Yeah, like he was like advancing on somebody, and he just goes like,
That's so good.
Our,
I kind of love
our
that,
buddy.
actually. Roger Twy. Excellent. Does anyone want to enlighten us on last session's happenings? Last session would include, in brief, our segment on Discord with Rowan.
"You mean the market affair?"
I do mean the market affair, yes, at the Nightshade Bazaar.
At the Nightshade Bazaar, our crew was tasked to eavesdrop on a conversation between 2 groups of interest to the ciphers. We were to report on what we heard, if possible, report extensively on what we heard. But first, we needed to be able to say, we know that these 2 are meeting.
Mm-hmm.
If we could report on what they were discussing, that'd be even better. If we could bring hard evidence, that would be best.
Mm-hmm.
What we did was establish a fake storefront.
Or,
Yes, this was... Molly Danvers set up disappearing ink, at which a woman approached and asked to stash a bag, which I definitely peeked. And there were some vials inside. There was also a stop by from Inspector Volai, and but you got to hear some things thanks to and you got to record them thanks to a certain object.
Thanks to a cranky box that Waif made, is really good. I rolled 3 6s on it or something.
It was
nuts.
Yeah, you tripped 6.
It's an incredibly powerful.
Out of 3 dice. That's right. Yeah.
It's an incredibly powerful little box. I recorded it, and we've basically offered that to our contact who gave us the assignment in the first place. We've offered him the recording if he helps us get Mrs. Ward back, if he provides us some information. So if we get our publican, he gets the recording, but not before.
It should be pointed out that the Wraith, who seems to be messing with this situation, who seems to be incredibly badass, is the person in my past who was named Telda, who I thought was a beggar.
Yeah.
And nope.
And essentially all we've established. Thank you very much, Diesel Shot.
Thanks for the
Welcome to RPG Clinic. All we've established really about the relationship between Zane and Telda so far, on stream and off, is that, Zane assumed or believed her to be a beggar, and she hates Zane's guts, believes him to be
Arrogant.
Yeah, arrogant, perhaps living beyond his means. I don't know. Wasn't really clear.
That I'm slumming it.
That's right. Good times.
Did we talk about what was in the bag?
6 vials.
6 vials of powder.
The Great Contagion.
The Great Contagion.
That's exactly
Yes.
Give me some party drugs.
And this Telda lady, she killed 2 billhooks.
At least 2 billhooks.
At least 2.
Correct.
Also, I have a note here that says, a gala in 3 days, question mark?
At the gala.
They in passing.
I don't have a gala note.
The conversation.
Liz just writes gala notes because she wants them back.
Honestly, I
I'm hoping
wouldn't
to
even
trick
be
Scott
mad.
into
I wouldn't
thinking
even
that he
be mad.
like...
No, you are correct.
Okay, cool.
And it's good that you. It's good that you wrote that down. I knew you would write that down. It's good.
I love
Indeed,
galas.
the Wraith in question, Telda, and the billhooks were discussing using or somehow bringing these vials to a gala at the Eruvian ambassador's home in 3 days' time. The newly arrived Eruvian
We did
ambassador.
not reveal this
I did
information
not make
to
that
the
connection.
ciphers.
Thank
We
you.
did not reveal this information to the ciphers yet.
Correct.
Because I totally forgot.
Thank you so
No,
much.
also
because we're
forgot.
intentionally withholding information.
Yes,
so that they
because
will-
we're the smartest.
Yeah.
Rowan Brace is, I think, generally respects the hell out of the 3 of you for being so arrogant. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know what I mean?
Competent.
We have
Excuse
moxie.
me, competent. Yeah, thank you. You have
Chutzpah.
some moxie. Chutzpah.
I love that Moxie
Ambition.
was invented as a term after the drink.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's
Nice.
a ridiculous soda that's like in the same universe as Dr. Pepper, in that it's a very strange assortment of flavors.
Extended universe.
Just
Okay.
like us.
Yeah. We are Moxie. We are Moxie the drink.
Can that be
You
our...
only get it in, like,
I mean,
England.
I will say,
Yeah.
we're still there's going to be a moment, an NPC is going to ask you, "What do I call you?" And somebody better have an answer ready. That's all I'm gonna say. No, I'm just kidding around.
Fago.
El Fuego?
No, Fago.
Oh.
It's a different soda.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I wasn't familiar.
Very popular, apparently, with the Insane Clown Posse's fan base known as the Juggalos.
The Juggalos. Okay.
I'd rather go with the Tom Lehrers of the world, who he literally has cases of Moxie shipped to his home.
Please. Oh God, what a dude. He's so cool. Okay, we're good. Thank you so much for the synopsis. Where does that put us now, then?
Well, we're starting a new score.
We are indeed.
We know that the publican who runs the tavern that is sort of like the front to our criminal enterprise has been taken by the Wraiths. We also know that apparently from the Railjacks that there is somebody being held at one of the railway stations, and the suggested point of entry from our cipher contact Rowan is above from the tracks.
Indeed.
Because apparently I have a death wish. He's not wrong.
I mean, maybe he got a good read on you.
I am a daredevil.
Coleridge is a region of Duskfall to the sort of southwest, towards Dunslow, which is where the sort of warehouse cum gym is, /gym. Thank you. Can we just use / now? That seems good.
Warehouse cum gym means that it was a warehouse and now it is a gym.
Oh, perfect.
Warehouse slash gym would imply that it's both.
It is not. It is currently a gym. Perfect. So it is in that direction. Coleridge is a very industrial part of town. If you can imagine sort of, factories, smokestacks, piles of coal, and smack dab in the middle, where you can probably not see on this small map, at least on our screen, the number 2 is the number sort of in the center of those 4 numbers. That's the old rail station. Not to be confused, of course, with Gaddock Rail Station, which is the major rail station that runs in and out of Duskfall. That one is #hoppin' at all hours, which makes it, well guarded and under many prying eyes. The old rail station, by contrast, is not. It is not abandoned. There are several large industrial tanker cars that come in and out. I like Mr. Pibb too, yeah.
They called me Mr. Pibb.
They called me. No, please, Mr. Pibb was my father. There's several large industrial sort of shipping containers that are ported in and out per day. But by and large, it's much less busy. That makes it an attractive place to hide things. Makes it an attractive place for people to meet, perhaps, right? We find ourselves back in the lair of these 3 shadows. This is, again, in the Three-Legged Goat pub, past a broom closet's fake wall, down some dank steps, into... I was thinking that too, as soon as I said it. In the basement. It's well lit tonight. The electric lights are indeed working once more.
Oh, good.
For now. And yet there's a chill in the air. It might be the turning weather. It might be the lack of warmth from above.
God no longer loves us.
No one is watching you. Well, Mrs. Ward. Hashtag God is not there. And yet there's opportunity in the air. A promise of potentially a celebration to come. The plan, as I understand it, is to bust Mrs. Ward out of whatever prison she's found herself in. Rowan made good on his promise to deliver you what intel he has. As we sort of discussed on Discord, you had the transcript of the conversation between 2 railjacks, which indicates pretty clearly that they've been paid to look the other way at one of the underground storage facilities there. Somebody is stashing something or someone, pieced with some other information. It's a good guess that this would be Mrs. Ward.
I believe it was heavily implied that it was a one.
Yes, a person. Yes, correct. Yeah. Oh, as opposed to something. Yes, You're right, someone. He's also made good on his promise to try, at the very least, to have distractions in Coleridge that night. Just like general carousing, perhaps a small kind of, fist fight break out in the streets nearby, just to draw some attention. He can't get involved beyond that, as he told you. He can't pull the Railjacks away from Coleridge. He can't go to war with the Wraiths to make sure that they clear out all their hiding. There's only so much he can do. But he's provided you with as many plans as he has of the old Railyard. If I can paint you a picture, before we get there, rusted out old rail cars are sort of strewn about a massive yard. So there are portions of the Railyard that are wide open with no cover, and there are portions with shipping containers, old rusted train cars, etc. There are a couple rail lines that come in and out, and indeed, as Rowan mentioned, there are a few rail lines that are elevated. Think of like an L train or something. Just roll with it, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, the boxcar children.
I miss the boxcar children.
How many boxcar children were there?
There were 4.
Damn it.
There were 4 boxcar children, and there were many books.
Okay, I will make an NPC, and then we'll all cast ourselves as boxcar children. Is that cool? For your crew. You get an NPC for your crew, is what I'm saying.
Violet.
I'm Violet. I don't remember who they were, to be honest.
Violet was the coolest.
She was.
So, grabbed it right away. Scattered throughout the shipping yard are large, sort of, if you can imagine, very large storm doors that sort of open and descend underneath. There's no rail lines under the yard, obviously, so they make for excellent shipping or storage storage facilities away from prying eyes, or perhaps, if you need to store something long term, perhaps some of them are privately rented, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's the picture I'm going to paint.
There's a problem. We steal Mrs. Ward back. What's to say that they're not just going to come back and steal her again, or just straight up pop us?
Right. But if we leave her there, what's your alternative?
Excuse me.
We're escalating. We take her back.
No, they escalated by taking her.
Hello again. Welcome for the raid. Welcome to RPG Clinic.
It still means that we're escalating the issue. I'm not saying that that's a problem, but we are going to war against the Wraiths.
Well, the Wraiths took Mrs. Ward's. They kidnapped her from her own pub. They've gone to war with Six Towers itself.
We could really escalate it. With an explosion at the station, fake her death, they wouldn't know that she was gone.
That's not a bad idea.
Do you
Make it look like an accident.
access to explosives?
I could. I'm sure I could.
You could make it look like an accident?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. Quick hi to all the raiders who are following and joining us. Welcome
Thank
to RPG
you.
Clinic, and thank you. We have a Discord as well. Join us on the Discord. And thank you, Kung Fu Veterans. Yeah. Sorry. Back to y'all's.
Explosions.
Yeah.
An explosion that looks like an accident.
There are... look, you don't have the intel specifically. With eyes on the ground, you could probably ascertain this pretty quickly. I would imagine at an old rail station like this that is not quite as well equipped as the Gaddock rail station, there are probably some old oil tankers lying around that were not emptied fully. An accident could happen anywhere. You know what I mean?
That's my idea.
Thistle,
Yes.
is there a way to make sure that we aren't killing a lot of people who don't deserve to die?
So, how do we know who deserves it? How do we know which of the people on site are the ones who took her? How do we know which are the ones, like the woman we saw, are ready to slash and dash? Is anyone there going to be innocent other than the other prisoners?
That's what I'm worried about. There could be other prisoners there.
Well, then we don't explode the prison.
Waif looks
Or
away.
we empty all the cells before we explode the prison. We make it look like a prison break. But if there's only one person there...
There isn't a way for us to lure additional wraiths into the building, is there?
I mean, I'm sure we could we could draw enough attention. So we get the explosion ready, and then we lure them in, and then we go kaboom? Is that what you're suggesting?
We get the explosion ready. We evacuate anybody who doesn't deserve to be there, specifically Mrs. Ward.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once we know that there's more than a few wraiths around,
That's definitely war. That's definitely declaring war.
accidents happen every day.
Taking her back is kind of like settling the score. Blowing a bunch of them up is definitely escalating. Are we wanting to escalate?
If they've decided that they're going to mess with us, we can make it very clear that they shouldn't.
Okay.
Besides, the only way that we're actually going to start making it in Duskfall is if we can prove that we can get stuff done.
A show of strength.
Yes.
Maybe we don't have to kill a lot of them, but we can at least show that we're capable.
Because if it's like a base of operations, we could also just destroy their base of operations.
I'm fine with that.
Do you think we should do some reconnaissance first? Somebody pretends to be a railway worker.
So in the context of the game, would that be a flashback?
So it could be one of two things. It could be during free play. You could call for an action to be like, I want to go and, get information, and then we could discuss a role. It could also be during a score. We could flash back. Depending on how much you want to have done, it would cost more stress.
Because I'm just picturing Thistle putting on sunglasses, walking away from the building, while like a wailing guitar solo is playing.
Yes. I mean, I want to see that.
I think we all want to see
I think
it.
we all want to see. I think we're all on the same page. Look, I'm here for you. Okay.
Because our primary goal is find Mrs. Ward, get her out of there safe and sound. Secondary goal is payback.
Secondary goal is eliminate their desire to mess with us any longer. Third is payback. Oh, and it's a significant desire. How long would it take to get the explosives?
Oh, I could do it very quickly. I need to use your bunk. I need as much space as possible. Would you be able to sleep on the floor tonight? Thank you. And I wheel out my giant table that's wheeled under, I think it's Zane's bunk, and I just start putting tools on top of his bed.
Then someone is sharing theirs. I'm not sleeping on the floor.
Well, if you're working all night, then I guess you can have her bunk.
That would be fair.
There's only a few ghosties in there to share with.
Tell them to be kind.
They don't listen to me.
Then what good are you?
I listen to them.
Fuck.
The air by Wave's bed is indeed a little chilly. That might...
Cool, I like it when it's cold.
There you go. Perfect. No problem. It might... Yeah, exactly.
Is it a
might
weighted
just be a
blanket? Is it
placebo.
a specter lying on top of you? Who knows?
Oh, on top of you. Horrible.
Can you find a way to get any kind of reconnaissance before we go?
Oh, I'm certain I can. Load out some blueprints and documents.
Perfect.
Yes. Now, does this count as just the blueprints that go on my, when I do my loadout and I check off my blueprints that exist as part of things that my character can have?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. So I think, again, just to sort of clarify, if we want to do this, we could have a scene where one or all of you visit the train yard, the old rail yard. Because it's like a title, right? It's like the old rail yard. Ridiculous. We could do a scene where that is visited to be scoped out. What that would accomplish, I'm not sure, beyond being able to flash back to what you need during the score. But I'm open to it.
Thing is, here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
First, where are likely points where someone can be held? So that I'm not spending the entire time prowling everywhere being like, what's behind this door?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. What's behind this door? Oh, Scooby-Doo.
I can't hold all these doors, yeah.
So there's that. Second, where would we place the charges? Third, how many people are there on a regular basis? What kind of resistance can we expect? Because it's one thing to prowl in and sneak somebody out. It's another thing to set charges and potentially take down a bunch of people if there's 50 of them hanging around this station at all times. Then we should really more just go for stealth and that's it. And finally, is there anything that we should know about that would be unexpected? We have a spider. I feel like having a spider.
My power is foresight, which involves flashbacks during a score.
So I figure we should help make sure that she can flashback.
Of course,
during a
yeah,
score.
100%, totally. So we'll keep track of those items so that when something comes up, if you want to say, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna scope that out.
Yeah.
And here's what I did.
Yeah.
Totally cool. I'm down with that.
Here's the way I'm thinking. We already have information on how to get in. We have a recommendation that we approach from the rails above. So we have advanced knowledge of how to have our point of ingress. They don't know we're coming. And we know that there's something there for us to find. Not necessarily what we want, but we have advance warning.
Yeah.
We secured this information beforehand. We have a plan. The plan involves wrecking shit up and checking it out beforehand and sneaking around inside. I feel like that's what we've got for our engagement role. Am I missing anything?
Seems good to me. I'm also looking for that list, which I usually have floating around somewhere.
Engagement roll. Oh, engagement roll is page 128.
Thank you.
I made a short note because it's not in the rules reference, of course. So yeah, page 128.
There we go. Thank you. Okay, cool. So then let's assemble our engagement roll, and we're going to jump straight into the action, depending on how this goes. Take a die for good old-fashioned luck. Is this operation particularly bold or daring?
Yes.
I agree. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors?
Yes.
All right, so that's +1, -1. This is where we're at. It is, but
Is it that complex?
I mean,
there are multiple objectives that you're
Yeah,
trying to
it's
accomplish,
true.
right?
yeah,
you're
you've
right.
explained a very complex set of things.
That's true.
However, does the plan's detail approaching the rail station on the elevated tracks expose a vulnerability or hit them where they're weakest? Is it a good point of ingress, in other words?
Yes.
Yes, +1 die.
Up to our knowledge.
That's a good point,
Yeah.
actually,
If
yeah.
we trust the fucking...
Intel.
Rowan, I mean,
He wants the cranky box.
Yeah.
He does want the cranky
He'll roll
box,
over.
and he doesn't get it if we don't survive.
That's right. That's what we told him.
yeah. It's like a... What's that? Oh,
Might I
it's
say,
like a
by
death
the way,
switch, yeah.
masterful way that we played that out. Like, we really kept our cards close to the chest
yeah,
on
yeah.
that.
Oh,
one. I
that
loved
scene was great. I
that.
quite enjoyed that.
I spent most of it just being like, oh, Zane wants me to say something. What am I going to say?
I'm going to say something weird.
So that's 2
Yeah.
dice.
That's 2 dice.
Yeah.
Can any of your friends or contact provide aid or insight? They already have. Take a die.
Yeah.
Are any enemies or rivals interfering? I'm going to remove a die from your pool, my
No.
friend.
2 dice.
2 dice.
Fucking Tilda.
The target, theoretically, is the same. It is a higher tier than you, but it's not their full force. So we don't need to remove another die for that.
Okay.
Are there any other factors that I might be missing?
They're going to be distracted. Does Rowan's thing count as him helping?
I gave
Okay.
a +1.
Fair enough.
I also then took it away immediately. I'm so
I
sorry.
see how it is.
Well, it's a difficult score.
Yep.
That means we have 2 dice.
You have 2
By my
dice.
count.
You will take the highest result as your engagement roll. We ready to roll it?
Do you two want to each roll a die?
God. All right.
Christ.
I
Christ
think
almighty.
everybody in the chat would love to know what happened.
Each rolled a 1.
Well, I would have rolled a 2, so it wouldn't have been much better.
All right, good.
Fuck.
Wow, remember when we all like rolled 6s?
Remember how you like Mrs. Ward?
I think we need to bail, y'all.
I'm gonna
I think we need to do something else.
My joke start is you're locked in prison with Mrs. Ward, and she's just
Damn
like,
it, I haven't leveled up my jailbird ability."
I've got friends here now. We're not doing that.
I'm holding a charge. It's about
It's
to
already
blow.
going. Yeah.
Oh, just before you say it, we have to mark down what our loadouts are.
Like,
Light.
What's the difference between light and normal again?
Light, normal is like you look ready for trouble. Light is essentially you look like you don't have much on you. Mm-hmm. So the
I
difference
mean, I
being
am sneaking around,
this is it.
so maybe I don't care if I have normal. Maybe I need more shit this time
Normal
around.
would if you were not caught, but if someone saw you, they'd be like, oh, that's a rascal ready for trouble. That's a real roguish type.
Whereas so far, my job has been to pretend that I belong there, so I'm definitely going to stick with light.
I'll stick with light so no one sees me as a threat.
I'm going to stick with normal. I know that it's the first time that I think any of us has done that, but that way I can also do things like carry demolition tools and climbing gear.
We get 2 free tools or gear because we're whatchamahoots.
Yeah, so
Shadows.
I'm going to need the climbing gear because I think I'm going to need that to get down from the rails.
Yes, but one of us could have climbing gear, one of us could have demolition tools, and those are completely free. Those don't count towards our loadout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I still am hoping not to be seen, so...
Cool.
Because I may need armor.
Demolition tools and fine wrecking tools.
That's a great question. Fine wrecking tools would be tools that would essentially assist with wrecking. Like demolition is for specifically destroying or blowing things up. Wrecking is a lot more general. So we're talking poison gas clouds. We're talking oil bombs. Right? It could be a host of things.
Because I think what she's aiming to do is like rig up fire oil like bombs ahead of these oil drums so that at a certain trigger it drops, makes contact with the drums and creates a huge fire. So that'll be like my alchemical, my bandolier load, right? Like would that be it or would it fall into?
I would probably count that as demolition tools. It feels very specific to me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with a normal loadout.
Cthulhu's asking an excellent question here as well, which I'm going to address. Do the characters kind of know how bad their role is? The short answer is they will in a moment. The idea of the engagement role is that this is the PC's starting in media res, but how's it going? So they'll know because that's where we're starting. How are we feeling? Everyone's good?
I'm ready to clown.
Wreck it.
I'm ready to clown. It's dark in the Railyard. You can hear, as you have been creeping in along the high line, I'm going to call it, which is essentially a series, it's a parallel kind of tracks for a train to run in on. It takes you kind of up and down, higher and lower. You can hear some movement below, but you have yet to sort of spot anyone in particular. It seems to be going pretty well. There is a rise in the rail. Oh, like a light one, obviously. We're not doing a fucking roller coaster here.
The dusk ball.
Whee! I love that. As you kind of broach or breach entrance into the old Railyard, from behind you, you hear, all at once, the squeal of metal on metal and the blast of a massive horn. It would appear that one of the large industrial tankers is coming in way ahead of schedule and a little bit faster than you would expect. It's behind you. It's bearing down on you. You are high above the ground at this point because you're quite elevated. This isn't one of the places that's closer to a drop to the ground. There's a train bearing down on you. What do you do?
Climb on Zane's back.
Okay, so you'll both get spotted.
I'm very quickly like measuring out the correct length of rope and tying it around my waist. I don't like this. I mean, I do, but I don't.
We're all gonna die immediately.
I mean, I do, but I don't. I don't like this at all.
But don't. There's a green card for those who are listening on the podcast later.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, podcast listeners.
Play on. Right.
Play.
Yeah,
of the
so there
game.
we go. I chose something called Action High, but it's not very...
Well, I
maybe
turned
it
it
is.
down
Okay,
because it was
probably
really
is.
loud and
Okay.
exciting and distracting.
Okay, it is.
Loud and
As long as it
exciting
is
and
exciting, and there we go. It's pretty good. Yeah, that seems good. Okay. That's the sound
All
that
right,
the
so
train is making coming in.
I am going to prowl because that's traversing skillfully and quietly. As a desperate action, I assume.
It's going to be desperate for sure.
I am going to make sure that I have guessed the correct amount of rope that I'm going to need to just jump. So that I land just before without, absolutely breaking through, but to get out of the way of the train.
I'm visualizing it, and let me know if this is what you're thinking. You're going to leap off the train track and throw the rope up behind you so that it can kind of catch on the, or like I guess tie it beforehand before you.
How much
down.
time do I have time to even tie the rope on the train track? Okay, so I'm
You
going to
have
make sure
10
that the
seconds.
grappling hook will just, and I will jump. I'll carry anybody who's coming with me.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we have some questions here. Will the rope hold all three of you? Will it be able to, will you make it in time? Will it catch the track before you hurtle to your...
A lot of these
I'm not
are
gonna say
good
death.
questions.
I'm not gonna say
All
death.
good questions.
This is a desperate roll. It's a prowl, as you said. You have potentially great outcome here.
Oh, that's good.
Avoiding death is a great outcome.
All right. What's a devil's bargain you might offer?
Straight up, you're gonna pull your shoulder. I'm willing to offer you level 2 harm for an extra die.
I refuse. I'll push
honestly
myself
fair.
into
That's honestly
stress.
fair. It's a good move.
Can I assist you?
I don't think you can if I'm leading an action for everybody.
Okay.
If it's a group action.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll give you a little shoulder massage as we
Okay,
go.
I will
Try to
take 2
relax.
stress though for an extra die. I don't want this to stop before it has a chance to start. Although how hilarious would it be if we're like session 3,
That's it. All stream's over,
guess
y'all.
we'll make a new
Thanks for
character.
tuning
or I
in.
just hesitate a little too long. Choo choo.
Oh my god.
The hype train.
Hype train.
Thank you all for the hype train earlier. Oh my
So
god.
each character rolls who participates. in a
Sorry.
group
Sorry.
action?
Yes. Sorry. No. So it's not a group action. My
Oh, he's
apologies.
leading. He's leading. What?
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, hang on.
I always get screwed up with this one. Sorry.
Two. If you're leading a group action, everyone's going to roll their prowl, and you'll take additional stress based on how bad their rolls are.
Yeah.
I don't think this is what's happening here. So, actually, I will say, Kate, what are your thoughts on assisting with this roll, if you have thought?
Yeah, so I knew that we were going to be lowering ourselves down from
Some
the
point,
rails.
yeah.
That was our plan. Therefore, I would have assured that I would have researched the exact drop height. We would have pre-measured that length of rope. And I would have made sure that in order to reduce the quantity of dangling ropes, that we would have had braided rope so that it would be strong enough for all 3 of us.
Ooh, so that you wouldn't have to, all 3 of you in sync, come down together.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
1. +1 die. Is this your, are you using your spider ability here?
Yes, my
So
foresight.
if I succeed, we all succeed?
Correct.
But this is not me leading them.
No.
It's
So
a group action.
it is not like it's not a group action because you're not all rolling. Because you're the one who's you're shouldering the burden.
Okay.
Literally.
Why
yeah,
did
quite
you
literally.
want to lead a group?
No.
Okay,
I'll
good.
do whatever you ask me to. I'm just.
The way you were talking. So if it's you doing a thing, you do the roll. If you're leading a group, we all roll.
Yeah. And I get the sense that your plan is take this desperate action, jump off, hey, come with me, guys, really quick, and hold on. That's
Yeah,
the
all
sense
right.
I'm getting.
Sounds good to me.
Also, that seems like a pretty decent pool to me.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Well, that's 6 dice if I spend the 2 stress.
Do it. You had no stress. Great.
Yeah.
I really don't want this to screw up, so. And there's a potential for great outcomes.
There is.
Not dying.
Not dying is a great
Find
outcome.
6.
gold on the way down.
Here's the other dice. 1, 1, 2, 3, 3.
It's okay.
Said it before, I'm going to say it again. I don't know if you want to use those casino dice. anymore.
They feel like casino dice, right? High rolls, low rolls.
Woo!
Oh, it doesn't show what it is.
Congratulations.
There you go.
Yeah. Well,
The
Best 2 stress I ever fucking spent. Follow me, everyone!
Next time on Blades in the Dark.
Yeah, exactly. New crew. Yeah, you're all rates now. Zane, you manage to secure you have the grappling hook in hand, swinging it to gain at least a little bit of momentum as you leap off the edge of the rail track. I assume that you two are essentially holding on to either Zane or the rope or some combination thereof. Zane, you fall. And as you are falling towards the ground, you release precisely the right moment. It hooks up over the edge, just as the train hurtles
Catches
by,
on the train. Oh god!
it comes off. There's a huge explosion. So we're good.
You were flying from the L train,
That would be so good.
just banging his down.
All the little crossbow beams.
Oh, God. You come to an alarming stop all at once, right? There's a little bit of give to the rope, but you said you measured it perfectly.
Yeah.
It's perfect. But there's still a snap at this descent velocity.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy, but you all snap back and you're hanging a few feet off the ground. Safe.
That's like a meter.
Yeah, it's like about a meter for our metric friends, including here in Canada.
We make some match.
The train hurtles by and you can hear its brakes squealing. It shouldn't be coming into the station this fast, but it is. It's obviously putting on the brakes. It's not like it's a runaway train. Someone might have been trying to beat a record. Or
We have the cover of this sound. This is when we should be like disengaging the rope and heading in.
What's your action? Disengage the rope
I'm
and head
getting
out.
off Zane's back
Instructed.
and going to the door that
get
was
off my
indicated.
back.
Getting off his back.
Yeah. How far are we
With a
from
little
our target?
thank you.
So this is it was much further back than you wanted to be, right? The plan was to get much closer on the elevated
drop
rail,
in,
but this
Yeah.
kind of came out of nowhere. Where you found yourself is again just inside the limits of the rail station. You are covered. You're amongst a number of containers and some old rusted engine cars
It's just like
overturned.
Spider-Man.
You like that, eh? It's dark. And it's quiet, save for the massive roaring sound of the engine passing by overhead. You're 500 meters maybe from your target. Like you could just like run it. But if I paint you the picture, you're currently in this kind of maze or, this cover of containers. But there's an open space between the edge of those and the storm doors that you've pointed out. Along the way, a couple of the oil cars that I believe you wanted to try to rig up to. Well, you're looking for them now, right? Yes. They are along the way.
I have a mechanics question.
Please.
If I've filled out now my prowess XP by just taking a desperate action, can I immediately spend it, or do I have to wait
That's
for
a
the end of the session?
good question. I would assume.
How about I check? You can
Advanced
yeah.
is page 48. I don't know whether that's where it would be.
I'll have a look.
I am thinking of doing something perhaps a little rash.
Oh,
Yeah, because I've never done that. Go for it.
I'm thinking of moving the opposite direction of my teammates towards the closest doorway / gate / entry to this facility. And then drawing attention.
Yay!
yeah. I mean, that's it's a thing you can do.
So this is the action that I'm going to be taking, and so I am going to try to use the sound of the cars to quickly and the various containers to quickly run my way back towards the entryway, and then I'm going to lean on the wall. With my fine cover identity in hand, in pocket that I would have prepared because I always do.
Oregon Dangerfield.
I gotta come up with a new name while I'm doing
no.
this.
Boxcar
I'm
danger.
gonna start scanning the area, looking out for where I can see figures while this clatter is happening, while hopefully my teammates do other things.
The goal isn't to go to like a front gate and be like, "Sup, boys? How you doing?"
Well,
And
I'm
you're
leaning
watching.
by the front gate, but I guess I'm not assuming that I wasn't assuming there was a guard post. I'm waiting for the sound to subside, and then I will whistle and draw attention to myself. But
sounds
step
good.
one, get into position, survey,
Yeah,
and then let them do stuff
I
until
feel-
the sound has subsided.
I feel great about it. It's
I have the answer.
yes,
When the track fills,
immediately
spend it.
delicious.
Incredible.
So,
You
do
just
I
get
want finesse,
stronger?
prowl, skirmish, or wreck?
I don't know.
I know.
What do you
I'm
think
kidding.
you're
No,
gonna
I
do?
shouldn't tell you what you want. You have to figure out what you want.
Who's
for
good at
yourself,
skirmish?
Zane.
Anybody?
Nobody except you. So
Should
maybe
I
a
should I
second.
get either the 4th out of prowl or the 2nd out of skirmish?
I think I vote for second out of skirmish.
Yeah.
personally.
Just in case we gotta
I'm not
bonk
listening.
someone.
Yeah.
Just in case
All
things
right.
go horribly wrong.
2nd out of skirmish. It's in.
Because we're all going to be hiding behind you.
Yep. I need a pen for this. It's gray on gray otherwise.
pen?
Oh, no, that would ruin your nice tip.
Speaking of, I was gonna say speaking of tips, but I don't know. The tip of the train is coming into the.
I'm just gonna, tip someone off to my presence.
Nailed it. So good. Okay. I would love to tell you what you see. You are surveying the scene. This is a
Yeah.
risky action because I think you have your cover identity, but by doing this, you're already drawing
I'm
attention
standing
to yourself.
out, yeah, I'm drawing attention. Yep.
Fantastic. Excellent. Oh, thanks, Kung Fu Fenris.
I'm gonna leave it where it is. I don't think I'm gonna go for a devil's bargain, so I'm just gonna
Sounds good.
roll what I
There's
got.
also stress. You can always take stress.
Not right now.
No, that's fair. I'm just the worst.
Maybe I have Reigert's. I got a 3 as my high, so things
Okay.
go badly.
Excuse me.
Was this a desperate action?
No,
No,
it was risky.
risky, unfortunately. I never get desperate action, so I'm
I
never
do all
gonna
the
level
time.
up.
You should be a daredevil
Yeah,
like me.
I'm not as cool as you.
You don't know.
Is it only because you're a daredevil?
No, I specifically try for desperate actions because I get an extra die.
Oh, okay. So any of us, if we take a desperate action, we get a little tick.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll quickly kind of pause, not use a pause card, but just to sort of pause to say your position does depend on the like I said it, but it's a discussion that we're having about what risk is entailed in the action that you're taking. Obviously, you probably want to take controlled action. Yes, desperate actions get you XP, but the potential for harm is much higher. You also get -1 to your resistance roll if you had fucked that roll.
Yeah, if I'd fucked the roll, I got -1 die to any resistant rolls against consequences from the action.
Which is pretty bad news, right? Potentially. Okay. Thank you, Kung Fu Fenris. Yeah. It's not particularly so. The result is that it's not particularly effective. What you can get a sense of, lights swaying in the distance. There are people on patrol here. The sound of the train is so loud that you're unable to hear any. Well, you're unable to hear sort of how much presence there is, what kind of people are over there. And from your vantage point, you don't see anybody beyond those bobbing lights in the distance. Unfortunately, this is not a successful action. You could potentially, I don't know, scale a container or something to make it you could make it a desperate action to potentially try to have that same result.
I'm okay
if
for
you
now.
want. Yeah, that's a possibility. Okay. Then at that point, we're back to you guys. What are your thoughts on what you want to be doing?
I would like to start booby trapping the oil carriers. Because are they drums or are they cars? Because I thought I heard both.
It could be anything. No, there is like an old oil tanker. It's a relatively large car. It would probably be mostly empty of oil by now. There are some oil drums scattered around as well that you can see.
Sounds good. So what Waif is trying to do is put like vials or containers of fire oil next to all of the drums.
Okay.
Between us and the door. And she wants to rig it so that, and this is after, so that when someone opens the door, it triggers the fire being released on all the drums.
Okay, let me make sure I understand.
Yeah.
You're hoping to set up essentially a number of explosives.
Yes.
Like around the entire kind of place, but not just in this little like prison or whatever it is down there. It's around the entire sort of rail station, or at least the parts you can get to. That when somebody opens opens the doors after you,
Yeah.
it will explode.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Not
Giant fire booby trap.
Okay. I assume let me just make sure I understand this then. Is the plan then to go and use the door once and leave it open so that it doesn't...
I'm not going to set the door element yet.
Oh, you're going to set it on the way out.
That's my, that's
smart.
my
Okay,
on
great.
my way
Yeah,
out.
like-
Lock the door as you leave kind of thing.
Great.
That makes perfect sense to
Rig
me.
it up.
So you will have to
We're
roll
gonna
for
die.
that later.
That's cool.
For now, sorry.
I'm just
I
laying
understand the
my
goal
like
that you're trying to do
vials of fire oil.
Okay. And you're trying to do this in a way where they're not going to be noticed, I presume?
Correct.
Cool.
I made camouflage vials. They're like black, the same color as the oil drum.
Nice.
I took Zane's shoe polish that he had, and I like rubbed the outside of the vials.
That
shoe
shoe
polish.
is so expensive. What are you? Oh, God. Not necessarily that expensive, I
I
suppose.
made that shoe polish out of ambergris.
You could have sold it for coin.
But what?
Okay. Well, that's the goal then. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. You're not just kind of dropping them and walking away, and there are at least a couple here that you can set now. Mm-hmm. What kind of action do you feel that this is?
Well, I think it's more tinker than wreck, but I'm willing to debate that just because there was a lot of like planning and finessing involved. But it's not finesse.
No, it's true. No, you're tinkering with the structure of the sort of oil drum itself to make sure that you can plant this in a way that makes sense.
Like I feel like I'm kind of rigging it by like I don't know what the drums look like, but close to the opening kind of thing.
If I'm not mistaken, by the way, just to answer... Oh, thank you, John. Perfect. I was just about to say. Everyone steals. Great. So this is going to be then a risky tinker action.
Okay.
Risky for a couple of reasons. The one that you know, Waif, the reason that it's risky is that you're handling explosives.
Yeah.
You know how to use explosives, don't you, Waif? It's
Sure.
fine. No. It's perfect. So it's risky with potentially standard effect.
What's the devil's bargain, just so I can know?
I would offer you an extra die to have these be set. Ooh, that's a good question. I would tick 2 segments on a 6-segment clock called patrols. Patrols find the explosives.
Okay. I don't want that.
That's fair.
I don't think.
Actually, does that kind of contradicts what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, cool. So that wouldn't make sense then.
I can burn
Patrols
my hand
kill
on
Zane.
my oil.
Well, that's okay.
Shit, yeah, that's much
All
better.
right.
No, in that case, then I would say the devil's bargain I could offer you is level 1 harm, which is I'll think of an appropriate adjective, but basically it's stressed or like
Sure.
buzzed.
I'll take that.
Great, +1 die.
My tinkering doesn't always go well despite my great pool, so let's help her as much as she can. Okay, here we go. Oh,
Okay, so
2 6s.
woo!
That's a crit.
Crit.
I'm critting.
Yeah.
I crit.
Yeah, your tinkering seems to be like not good or amazing.
It's true, it's one or the
It's
other.
really up or down over there.
There's no in between.
Waif,
Yeah.
rigging up these oil drums with your kind of makeshift. Thank you, Ellie Spot. Wonderful to see you. Rigging up these various oil tanks with your makeshift shoe polish
Camouflaged
explosives.
vials.
Camouflaged explosives. You weren't expecting this, but the oil drums themselves open easily. Like they can be placed even inside. You were kind of hoping that you were going to have to either maybe drill a hole or find a rusted piece and like open it and place it. They open easily. All of them that you've managed to find. Your critical is that you are, I'm going to say increased effect. You managed to place more charges than you expected. So perhaps you thought you were going to have only time to do a couple.
I'm also.
Oh, yeah.
I would also love if maybe the critical, instead of having additional charges, could include the door booby trapping at the end, so I don't need to roll again. But if you don't think that's fair, okay, fair enough.
Can't do it because you have to. You guys are gonna have to get in. You're gonna have to get out, and then you want to set something afterwards, right?
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right. So a lot of charges.
That means I have to get inside.
Well, I mean, somebody does. Yeah.
We don't see any patrols on the outside. We didn't see any of that.
No,
So,
there was no preordained signal.
so we're going in dark.
Zane, I'll just sort of paint the scene. Right now, you've landed essentially in this sort of maze or mess of containers, shipping containers. There is open ground from the edge of here to the sort of storm doors that you're looking to get into. They're not well lit, so at least you're under cover of darkness.
Okay. I'm gonna pull on my fine shadow cloak, which thankfully I had a hold of, and I'm going to activate my dark sight goggles.
What does that sound like? It's perfect. It's exactly what I was looking for. Your dark sight goggles, of course, I imagine, are similar to modern day night goggles, night vision goggles.
You imagine it, Chief. I don't know.
You're the imagination. They essentially, function like thermal goggles. So they allow you to see the outlines of, objects and people and so on. Okay, what's the plan? Or what's the action, I should say?
Under cover of darkness, using my shadow cloak, I'm going to attempt to make it into the building. Are there any... Is this building a single story?
It is, in fact, it's a series of doors that open like storm doors down underground.
Okay, so
it's not even really a building.
So I'm definitely not climbing
You're
up.
not climbing anything, no.
Yep, so let's get to the doors.
Okay.
I'm going to prowl my way up.
Okay. So you are under cover of darkness. There's risk involved. You don't know if there's anyone just around the corner, essentially, and
not.
You're running through what is essentially open ground. So it's risky.
You know what? I'm going to huck a piece of wood,
Okay.
like as far away from me as I can, just so
Okay.
it makes a noise as a distraction somewhere else.
I mean, I'll be doing a big distraction soon enough.
Oh, should we? No,
I guess that's a
distraction
question
first.
of order of operations.
Yeah, please.
Because I definitely want to distract before you try to open any doors.
Great. I'm going to let you do that.
We're gonna
Okay, so
zip on it.
you're starting to creep in that direction,
The
then we
goggles
pan
are
over.
like, whee, and then we're over to Maureen again.
As soon as the train has passed far enough, I'm going to whistle as loudly as I can, leaning up against the barrier.
The goal is to get the
Get
attention of
attention of
anyone who's
whoever.
nearby. You do hear a couple sort of shouts of not alarm but like questioning shouts. The crunching of gravel underfoot. Yeah. Oi, who's over there? Yeah. You hear the crunching of gravel underfoot, and emerging from a shipping container, sort of just to your side, around the corner, a young man, grizzled, mutton chops. He's got an oil lantern in hand, and a pair of dogs in the other. Not in his hand. He's got.
Yeah, the leaf.
Why did it have to be dogs?
Fuck's sake. Yes, he's got
Two tiny puppies.
Yeah, they're running around. So fuck's sake.
A couple of
Yeah.
bichons frisés.
They'll bite you. Not always. He looks up and immediately his eyes go wide and he starts reaching for the whistle around his neck.
Go ahead. I'm here to talk. You can whistle. I'm not trying to hide. You can tell them all that I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
well,
not
this
gonna
shit's
stop you.
happening.
Yeah. Well, this shit's happening.
Should I
You're
make the
doing your
roll?
prowl. I'm ready for it.
Risky action?
Yep.
6.
Success. You are going to make it to the doors, and you're going to be able to, I guess, pull them open and slip inside?
Yep.
Is that the plan?
Oh, I'll let you back on this. Thanks, Thistle.
The man sort of squints at you. What are you doing here?
I'm here to talk.
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 Do you know what time it is?
It's always
Whatever
dark.
time it is, yeah.
It's always dark in Duskfall.
He kind of approaches you a little closer. Talk about what? I should get some backup.
Go for it. I'm gonna stand right here, and I'm gonna like take a step just away from the wall to stand like centered. I'm picturing that there's like a gap in the wall and a few key spots, sort of thing, so it's easy to defend, like it's a doorway. So I'm standing in the middle of the doorway.
He goes to blow his whistle, and then he thinks better of it and puts it down. He holds out his hand. Paper. he puts his oil lantern down and holds out his hand. Papers.
Fuck, I forgot to come up with the name.
Oh, no! MD.
Yeah. Marion.
Yep. Dusk Valletta. That's why I'm not in charge of names.
Dangereuse.
So good.
Les liaisons dangereuses.
DeGilles. D-G-I-L-L-E-S. Marion DeGilles.
Du jour.
He looks and sort of scrunches his face and like holds it up to the light. The dogs are starting to growl and sniff the air around you and generally. What are you doing here in the middle of the night, Mr.
DeGilles.
DeGilles?
I understand. It's hard to pronounce. Get it all the time.
She's from
You
Scotland.
have something of mine. Not you, but you.
I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying.
I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm happy for you to go find someone who actually knows something.
Are you insinuating that someone I'm working with tonight is having some sort of illicit affair or trade with you, Miss DeGilles? We are upstanding members of the community, thank you very much.
I think you are certainly missing my meaning. But I do think that someone here, or several someones here, may be in possession of a certain something that belongs to me. So if there's someone that you need to talk to, otherwise I'm happy to deal with you specifically, Mr.
Classic.
Sorry, but also he asked for my name, and
No, of course, yeah.
Mr. Big Chungus.
Mr. Junior Ensign.
Yeah, basically. You don't get to know my name.
Okay.
It's not so easy.
Wow. He nods firmly and he goes, all right, good. Well, if there's something that you need, you can come with me. And he starts to turn and he starts to walk away.
Which direction is he walking?
He is walking
Relative to the entrance and the target.
And the explosives.
and the explosives. He is walking not towards the explosives.
Yeah.
He is walking on a trajectory that will probably take him past the storm doors.
Okay.
But I'm in.
I'm in. Come along.
I am here to talk, not be disappeared.
No one's going to disappear you.
You've disappeared my friend. And I'd say that perhaps quite loudly.
Oh. He's
Like, I project so that hopefully other people that are listening in can hear me.
The dogs growl and bark just a couple of times.
I have a fine bottle of whiskey. I don't have a fine set of steaks. Damn it.
You do well. I mean, you know,
I could flashback.
You
to
could
having
very
steak.
much so.
That
Yeah,
does
yeah.
count as an unusual weapon.
I am so slap. I am so dead. Anyway, that's a whole other thing.
Flashback to being like, I was really hoping for a nice steak after the score tonight.
Flashback to being like, they have dogs.
They got dogs. Yay, sausage links. Yeah. He whirls around and now in his, you can see sort of he's withdrawn his cloak and there is absolutely a pistol tucked into his belt. He's showing it to you. He doesn't have his hand on it at all.
I'm here to talk and negotiate for the release of my friend.
There's no prisoners here. I think you're very mistaken.
Then I am very happy to stand here and for you to consult with your colleagues and tell me that I am absolutely wrong.
He picks up the whistle and blasts it. 3 short, sharp shrills. Zane and Waif, you hear this. You can still hear, well, you can hear this as, I presume, the doors are sort of closing behind you.
If only it was 5. And it'd be the beginning of Sandstorm.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is a very threatening melody here in Duskfall.
Yeah, I was thinking like blow my whistle, baby. Whistle song. Yeah.
My.
Yeah.
Waif, you also hear this. There's short, sharp blasts of a whistle kind of echo across the now relatively quiet train station. And you can hear again some shouts in the distance. And the crunching of boot heels and the crunching of gravel, the crunching of gravel under boot heels and under paws. Waif, you can hear the growling of dogs. They're starting to approach your position as they're bearing down on Morian here. Sorry, Thistle. What do you do?
Marion?
Could make an explosion a little prematurely.
Oh no!
Maybe I have a stake.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can flash back for any reason.
Animals are very sensitive. What if I
Yeah?
What if I tuned into the ghost field
To do what?
to see if the spirits would distract the ghosts?
The dogs?
The dogs.
The dogs?
To see if the spirits would at least appear to me for long enough that the dogs would be distracted.
Question. Is the plan to use the energy of the ghost field around you to create enough of a distraction that the dogs might be surprised or something
Yes.
like that? Cool. You're essentially reckoning with forces beyond your understanding to get a short-term gain.
Yeah.
I love it. This is a desperate roll.
Yay!
Potentially great effect.
So does it have to get put in resolve because I'm
Yes.
using a
Yes,
tune?
correct.
Oh my goodness, look! I'm gonna add my third dot of a tune right the fuck now.
Fine, whatever.
It's after the roll.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That is very fair. Okay, cool.
Although points for the sheer chutzpah of.
I'm going to need you to describe this to me before you do it so that we can see what the results are after. You're hearing again, so it's the sound of barking and growling that's coming your way.
So I crouch down on the other side of the oil drum and I start trying
With the
to.
explosive in it, yeah.
Yeah. I start trying to mimic the dog barks and growls very quietly.
Okay, all
and
right,
I try
cool.
to sync up totally perfectly with them. At the same time, I'm sure my eyes are like rolling back in my head, trying to go to the ghost field because I'm trying to call for animal ghosts in the ghost field.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to hit that really sweet spot between the living and the specters. And it is me. They all converge in me.
I completely appreciate this. Thoughts, feelings? Yeah, you're rolling. You may take 2 stress, right, to add a die.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that actually.
These wieners will give me the quick energy I need to outrun these dogs.
Yes, I forgot about that. So good.
So I did push myself. This feels
Feels like a good thing to do, honestly.
5.
Partial success. Wave. The ghost field is sort of a reality alongside this one, with enough. Wave has instinct, but now she also has some training. With enough training, you can slip into this ghost world and see the universe of sort of spirits and energy on top of this one. That shifting. It's like it's like looking at one of them 3D images, right? It just kind of pops into focus. You're doing so, and you're essentially calling for aid. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh my god, look what he's doing.
There is the sound behind you of a. Oh! Go, good, Kate, go!
Which?
Oh god! Oh, good. There's the sound behind you of a guttural growl, and then the air around you begins to heat up.
It's the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Do you?
So fucking cool.
If you turn to look behind you,
Yeah.
there is, indeed, a hound. It is about 8 feet tall at the shoulder. It is frothing at the mouth, and it is distorting the air around it with the heat that is coming off of its body. It's
That's
been
one hot
drawn.
dog.
It's
And we'll end the session there.
3 points. It is looking through you and has been called by you, and with a massive roar, it tears out of the space between two containers and immediately towards the dogs ahead of you. You hear a cry from another man who goes, "What the?" And suddenly there is absolute pandemonium in front of you. This is the distraction you wanted. But the heat coming off this dog is threatening to set alight some of your oil drums.
Please mitigate that. Oh shit! You only have one thing to. Oh god.
So you can. The consequence here. The consequence.
Yeah.
Is that this potentially could start a fire. You can roll the resist. The consequences. You would roll your.
She rolls one die.
Yeah.
It's the number of dice you have and the first thing of.
That's not good.
Actually, no. You get to determine whether it's insight, prowess, or resolve.
Uh-huh.
Let me think about that for a second here. No, resisting the consequence would be insight because it has to do with the ghost field that you've triggered.
Insight's better than
if you do,
resolve on this one.
what it's going to do, Liz, I'll let you know.
Okay.
You will resist the consequence. It won't start a fire immediately on top of the bomb you're creating that's right in front of you.
I have to resist, otherwise our score is ruined.
You will take stress equal to 6 minus the result of the die that you roll.
That's. I can only afford to take 2 more before I'm taking trauma.
You'd roll 2 dice.
Yeah, I can only afford to take 2 more stress before I'm taking.
Oh, are you at 10? Or sorry, however much it is? 7? Or whatever it
7,
is?
yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean, trauma will make you haunted. Oh no.
Trauma will,
or
trauma
obsessed
will
or
also
paranoid.
take you out of this score.
Oh, I did most
If you
of my
if you exceed your stress, you will you will be taken out of the score. I'm not gonna. You're not dead. Don't worry about it. You will essentially have to retreat.
So my
from the
choices
score.
are either start a fire,
correct,
or chance that I take so much stress that I'm out of the score.
Yeah.
Okay.
And knowing your stress level now, that is pretty rough. I don't envy this decision for sure.
So roof stoof.
Do you want a moment to think about it?
Yeah, sure.
Here's my thought.
I mean, if it sets everything on fire, everything's just a desperate action. I'm okay.
Like, I need you to be safe, but I don't need help, sort of thing. If that helps you decide your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already embedded.
Yeah, you're in.
We have
I'm in.
Zane, who's just essentially closed some heavy sort of trapdoors above your head as you descend into the.
Although, of
underneath.
course, if the fire drums explode, that could rain rubble down on me and kill me.
That's it.
Rain on me.
That was sort of the intention. Anyone who's in the room gets burned alive.
Thistle, who's essentially been trying to attract attention, and I mean, I should mention, you can see this. It's not a scuffle; it's an absolute pandemonium breaking out on the other side of the container. And we have.
This wasn't even a total failure, man. This is rough. This is a partial success.
I want to put you in it.
It was a desperate action.
That's true. That's true.
I'm super happy with, and I mean, please, green card me or like don't.
Yeah, I'm
green
green
card me if you have a
carding. I just
problem,
I don't know what to do.
What I'm going to propose is that we take a break here,
Yeah.
knowing where we are and knowing that this hellhound is tangling with some much smaller dogs.
Okay.
I'm going to propose we take a little break and come back in about 5. Sound good? Yeah. Is it okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I will. There we go. Woo! I just think it's good to like take a step back, maybe think, take a little like if we want to get some tea or
Go
a
to
cigar.
Vendors,
Sure,
getting a
yeah.
cigar.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Yes, please.
We are both the test.
Thank you.
Zane's in. What do you think you're gonna find down there?
I hope you find gold.
I have to imagine that there is a non-zero chance that I will not find Mrs. Ward. It will be someone else.
That is a non-zero chance. That is correct.
Would
you like that down to a die roll or no?
I'm actually super excited.
Okay.
I like it when things go bad. I figure that also in mini campaigns, like, just go for it.
Yeah, this is
Go
it.
for it. Like if the way the Blades in the Dark is sort of constructed, like I expect to gain trauma before the end of this.
Yeah.
Maybe even a lot of trauma, depending on how bad things go. Right? Like, I'm okay with that.
The tough part for me and the balance that I'm like looking for is that it doesn't feel unfair that like, you know, the shit's raining down on you, whatever. So it doesn't feel unfair because taking trauma does take you out of the score. And you're right, like the actual, you refill all your stress, like you deplete your stress. Like it's not the end of the world, except it might be in this moment for Waif. Like,
well, if she lets the fire go, it puts all of us under a certain amount of strain.
Correct.
If she decides to try and resist that complication, it might take her. But
yeah. And the question that I'm going to make sure that Liz is asked at the table, and I might do it privately off stream, is just to like be sure, like as the storyteller, like I want to make sure that this choice is one that she is okay to make. Because if it feels like a no-win proposition, that's not fun. Like if it's not a fun choice,
some
then that's
no-win
not cool.
propositions are fun.
That's true.
I think the question is, do you want to have a no-win proposition here? Because, I mean, it's also according to the mechanics of this game, we get to choose whatever action we want.
Yeah, for sure.
If I say I'm going to prowl, I do prowl.
You're gonna prowl.
You're the one who chooses what the level of risk is and what the level of
effect
is.
It actually effective if you prowl here?
Yeah. So if we decide to take an action and we know that it's going to be a desperate action, then it's on us.
Yep, that's true. So yeah, Cthulhu, Kung Fu Fenris, of course, is absolutely correct and has played a whole bunch and run a whole bunch. Trauma are essentially character quirks or, pieces of trauma that you undertake or that your character takes on. If you use them in your role playing, you can earn XP, which is pretty sweet. If you accumulate 4 trauma, your character's done. Not necessarily dead, but perhaps incarcerated for life, perhaps retired, perhaps moved away. Unplayable, exactly. There are rules for you're dead, but you want to be a ghost. That's cool, which is fun.
And I think you can also pull upon our trauma if you want to sort of be like, well, you could take this action, but it's less effective because you are whatever, I think.
Yeah.
So the examples that I have on my character sheet here of trauma are cold, as in like emotionally cold, haunted, obsessed, paranoid, reckless, soft, unstable, and vicious.
My favorite thing is that, like, if you're building a character in Blades in the Dark, you probably already are some of these things anyway, even without the traumatic, like, without the qualifier. You probably are a little obsessed. You probably are a little reckless. Mm-hmm. It's wild. I'm going to use the washroom too. Do you need to as well?
You go ahead.
All right.
And
but please keep the chat.
I'm back.
I mean, I'm hungry, but I also know that dinner is in, 2 hours.
Yeah. Do you want to
Hour
grab a quick
45.
little snack snack?
Yeah, I might.
Snick snack.
so I'll just start crunching on chips. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
No, I'm gonna go.
Carrot sticks.
I'm gonna grab a snack and do drugs.
Nice.
Nice.
That's actually an important step.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm having such a good time.
Yeah, me too. I do not envy your decision.
It's one of those games where like you feel silly for being overcautious, but then as soon as you try to play with the fun toys, you are pretty much without fail kicked in the face for it.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to find some kind of joy in that. Mm-hmm. And I am. So that's where I'm at right now, just like...
Yeah, well, it was that thing that we said after a practice session of like, oh yeah, this is a game where your character can literally die, but the crew continues on. And so I feel like the game, the system is designed to force you to accumulate stress, to force you to take traumas and stuff like that. But it still sucks to be taken out of out of a score.
That's it, and that was the part I forgot.
Yeah.
Because I was like... when I was determining downtime actions, I'm like, I have 5 stress.
Yeah.
I know my luck. I'm gonna roll 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't want that. Great. So I won't get rid of it. And then I just started accumulating it because I'd never pushed myself before. I'm like, oh, I should start taking advantage of these things. Do that. And then I forgot that as soon as you take trauma, you're out of the score. So I probably should have held off on that last one.
Yeah.
Can you give a last score again? Yeah, I would go for it. 2 die for a 4+.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's also like giving up on a score here. It's like, I mean, I'm sure we can just be like,
It's not
whatever the
worth
game says,
giving
that's
up.
how it
you
works.
two are in such good situations.
Yeah. It's like, can you give up on a score and we continue? Like, yeah.
Well, then I may as well
Yeah,
just
to
take the
die,
trauma
I guess.
and
Yeah.
be haunted and curled up in a fetal position behind an oil drum. And you can pick me up on your way
You're
out.
just petting the dog. That's actually what it is.
doggy.
Yeah, that's it. You just sit there and pet the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the chance with the,
Can
with the
I
trauma.
foresight assist her? Is this a role that I can assist?
Not a resistance roll, unfortunately.
Cool.
Too bad.
Yeah.
That would honestly, that would be pretty sweet. But
Yeah.
So here's a question. So I have 7 stress. I need to roll, because Cthulhu is saying a 4+. I would need to roll a 4+, or do I need to roll, like,
oh yeah, I actually do need to check that.
is it 9?
Is it over or is it
Or
total?
10.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna,
is it
I am gonna
exactly
check that
9?
For you.
32 for
My-
resistance.
Thank you. My
I put a little short reference.
no, it's
It's
fantastic.
amazing,
numbers.
Kate. You know where everything is.
Do I have any physical book near me? No, I just tell everyone else where to look. Actually, that feels a lot like rehearsals. I'm like, I don't know how to act, but I know what the director said, so you're supposed to be really sad in this moment.
Oh,
Go be sad.
Please do that.
Yeah.
Liz, if you get a critical, you clear a stress. I'm just reading that here. On a resistance roll specifically. Sorry.
If I roll a 6?
No. If you roll 2 6s.
Oh. Balls.
I mean, it can be like your tinkers sometimes.
Just pretend it's a tinker roll. Yeah, because rolling 5+ is dicey.
I'm gonna do this here. I'm looking for.
Ooh, what a decision.
That's what I'm looking for.
What a fucking decision.
Just looking for one thing before we get back to it. John.
Yeah, that sounds good. John is capable of unmuting himself.
I feel like the way that the other tracks work is as soon as you fill it up,
it's done.
you tick.
Yeah, that has been.
So that
has
means
been-
that just by getting 2, I fill up.
And how many dice
So I would
you
need to
be
roll.
rolling?
I'd be rolling 2 dice and trying to get a 5 or a 6.
As opposed to, what's the alternative?
A 4, a 5, or a 6.
Oh no, but like, oh yeah.
That's it.
The alternative action.
Oh,
Yeah.
is starting a fire.
Well, yeah. The outcome is that there's a fire that's starting. I'm not necessarily blowing you up right now.
Yeah,
you
when you
fill
fill
up?
up.
Yeah.
Stress indulging advice, stress relief. I'm just looking for it, team.
I know.
What I need to do is just Control F.
This is-
Yeah.
I tried to live the Daredevil life. It did not go well.
You got to know when to be a daredevil and when you realize you get an extra die on all your daredevil actions. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good move. We're almost back, Liz. I do.
I
wanna
think
just
I'm
make sure.
I'm gonna
Oh,
just
thank
try to resist it, because if I fail, if I take a trauma, then I'm just Waif is hanging out with the dog for the rest of the session. She's petting the ghost hound. She's having a
Last
great
stress
time.
box. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Kung Fu Feminine.
You know, that's it. That's what she's gonna do.
I will suggest that if no, we're gonna see how it goes. Okay, we're back, and you let me get our suspense music here.
Okay.
So you're rolling to resist this effect?
Yes.
Is that 2? No.
She crit.
Oh my god.
Woo! This is why we roll dice when we play games. This is why we roll dice. Sometimes the dice go your way.
Amazing, because I could see the 6 and I could see 4 dots, but it was so close to the edge.
Holy balls.
I'm posting that in the.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
you may clear 1 stress
Whew.
as you
Jesus.
not just well. So this is metaphorical. You're not literally going, "Don't start a fire! Don't start a..." It just doesn't happen, right? That's
Yeah.
the effect has been mitigated fully. That's pretty fucking
you, John.
exciting. What a roll!
What the fuck?
What a goddamn roll! All right.
Kate was right. Pretend it's a tinker.
Yeah.
Pretend you're making a cranky box.
Make a cranky box. There you go.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Wave.
Fucking
Yes,
hell.
please.
Here we are being like, well, I guess she's gonna be traumatized.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, you also never know, right? Because that stress is something that it keeps ticking up, right? That's definitely something that happens to you. Excuse me.
Yeah, okay.
Wave.
Yep.
There is, in front of you, the distraction that you so desperately craved is here in the form of an 8-foot-tall hellhound that is radiating with heat. It's currently snapping at and mauling, the two dogs of, pause card.
Are we sure that we're okay with dog on dog
Yeah,
violence?
I wasn't sure that the ghosts would be able to do damage to the real dogs.
Great.
If they could just be distressed.
I will retcon this
It would
for
be
safety
appreciated.
purposes.
Thank you.
100%
Thank you for using the pause
play on,
card.
and thank
Thank
you.
you, John.
Yes, I felt it as I was doing it. You're right. The whoa, Pramster.
Thank you.
Pramster. The heat coming off this beast from the nether realm, from the ghost field, is palpable, even to you back here. The other dogs are absolutely out of their minds. They're trying to tear away from the leash in the hands of a very terrified-looking man who is stumbling backwards. He's clutching for something in his jacket pocket. Maybe a gun, maybe some sort of spirit charm. I'm not even sure if he knows what he's looking for. Thistle, you can see this happening, or at least you can see the kind of conflagration. You can see not conflagration. You can see the kerfuffle.
Yeah.
The man who was with you whirls around and says, "Don't move," and then he takes off to try to combat the beast.
I'm going to move back towards like the doorway sort of thing, like the entrance between the in the wall sort of thing, so that I could possibly leave by looking really concerned at what's happening over there. My intent is to be like, sure, I'm not gonna move, fuck you, I'm not gonna die for whatever the hell's going on over there. I'm doing my best to make it seem like I have no idea what's going on, because honestly, I don't know what's going on. But really trying to play up as I didn't cause this, I'm not associated with whatever's going on.
100%. These two hapless patrolmen, if you will, are going to attempt to calm their dogs. They're going to attempt to either deal with this ghost creature that's manifested itself here just out of the blue. If they manage to do so, they know you're still there, or at least they assume that you haven't left. They're going to come back for you.
That's okay.
We're going to go inside the cellar. Zane,
Blissfully unaware.
as soon as the doors close over your head...
Is it hot here?
Yeah, exactly. As soon as the door closes over your head, you do feel like just sort of, no. The timing of this is that the distraction was occurring as you were running across. So as the doors close over your head, they kind of resound with a very dull thudding, and the noise of anything outside has been muted. You are faced with a set of relatively steep stairwell running down into the pitch black. You are wearing your dark goggles.
My dark sight goggles.
Dark sight goggles, my apologies. There is, at the bottom of the stairwell, a little alcove, and then it turns a corner.
All right, let's get to the bottom. Can I hear anything?
That's a good question. You can hear the telltale crackle of electroplasmic electricity coming from somewhere down the hall.
Electricity. That's a very electric kind.
Electroplasmic. It's magic electricity, so don't worry about it. That's not what
How does society work?
Exactly.
Okay, seeing as how I don't want to be discovered, I definitely want to infiltrate inside, see who I can find. So I'm going to assume that this is another prowl roll. The door in front of me, the problem is that if I open a door, I can't sneak through it. I can't sneak the door that way.
That's correct.
So I'm going to have to wait listen. I'm going to wait and listen just for a little bit to see if I hear footsteps, and then I'm going to open the door and go through. If there's somebody in there, there's somebody in there. But I'm essentially prowling through. So I'm going to state that before you say what level of difficulty this is, because I don't know what it is on the other side.
Yeah. You're essentially kind of trying to gather information on what's there before you attempt to get through.
No,
Well, you're not, like,
I have to
gathering.
get through. There isn't a way for, you know what? No,
No, I understand
I
what
have
you're
to get through, so I'm opening the door.
Nice.
Just gonna do it, eh?
I mean, I can open the door without going through. I'm just going to open the door.
Okay.
Kick it open.
No.
All right.
The tunnels down here are made of essentially dark stone. And the crackle of electricity that you can hear, in the gloom, you can see where it's emanating from. On the far side of this relatively large room, again, probably sort of, it might have been once like quarters for workers who were working in the sort of storage facilities further down. But immediately in here, in this moderately sized room, it has a few old beds, some mattresses on, some mattresses not on. A few kind of tables off in the corner. The far end of the room, what can only really be described as a large cage. It is, bless you, it is crackling with this electricity. It's hooked up to a machine on that far side of the room as well. Inside the cage is a prone figure.
Shit. Okay, I need waif. Or somebody who either knows how to tinker or wreck, neither of which I'm very good at.
You can always take an action with 0 dots.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on up there, but I don't think I can risk getting up. The distraction's already happened. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I am going to attempt to wreck this electroplasmic conduit.
Great.
So that because I'm assuming that if I touch the cage, and then I don't really want that. So I'm going to attempt to wreck this thing. What kind of a devil's bargain could you potentially offer a kind soul in these trying times?
In these trying times, I've because you're hoping to wreck it to disrupt the energy that's flowing into the cage to sort of make sure that you can like interact with the cage and get in and find the prone figure and so on and so forth. That makes sense to me. This is a delicious question, and I do want to offer you one.
Okay.
If you wreck the device, you will leave a trace of your presence here.
Of my presence or of anyone's presence?
Well, of presence here. I mean, taking someone out of the cage.
I can't do that because the plan is to make this look like an accident. I can't risk that they know that somebody came down here. I'll take 2 stress.
Okay.
Daredevil. Daredevil.
I don't know what kind of a... Is this a desperate action? Is this a risky action? What kind of action is this?
I want to hear what the plan is. I'll briefly describe as you kind of move through the room. I should mention there's no one else in this room. It would appear at this time. You haven't found anybody else.
Well, I have a blade or 2.
Yeah.
One of my blades.
Blade or 2. Great. Good.
I'll try to use to short the thing. Shorting's a thing. I've heard Wave talk about it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you know how electricity
I'm
works,
gonna
right?
wrap my part of my cloak around so that I'm grounded, or not grounded, insulated, and
Not grounded.
And then I got 1 dot, and I'm gonna try to just bridge it so that it will
short out.
Yeah.
just for the record, sort of the device itself that you're looking at here, it is indeed it is essentially a large battery of electroplasmic energy that's flowing into the cage. You can see that the box itself has this like swirling blue mass inside of it, which is what's creating the energy. I'm just painting a little picture for the viewers at home.
So if I know what I would do, I'm trying to do what.
No.
Zane
I'm
would
loving
do.
what Zane's doing. This is a desperate action.
Oh fuck! All right. Well, at least that gives me another die.
Standard results.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Desperate action. And this is a wreck. Okay, here we go. 6.
Yay!
I need someone to fuck it up soon. I'm just kidding.
been
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Hi, I'm here. It's
I
me.
rolled a 1 in the
I'm the problem. It's me.
engagement roll. Yeah.
It's true. That was a.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm rolling
one
well.
footstep.
I'm rolling well right now, but I remember how I got rid of 6 stress at the beginning of the session.
That's
I'm back
true,
up to
actually.
4.
That's, you know what? That's a
So-
good point. It's a resource, right? It's a resource to use.
Oh my
Zane.
god.
You've wrapped your arm or your hand. The blade touches this conduit, and for the briefest moment, energy arcs along the blade in a way that is not particularly safe. It doesn't look good.
Do I look like I care about being safe?
That's what I like to hear. The energy leaps from the blade and into
Use
the ground.
protection, but
It does not travel sort of along your cloak, right? It tries to get to the ground. The device and shorts out. The actual device itself still has energy contained within. It's no longer flowing into the cage. The cage.
Well, then I didn't wreck it properly. Okay.
No, sorry. Then maybe I misunderstood. Yeah. Like, I just mean that the cage is no longer.
So the battery is still functioning, but the cage is not.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
No big deal. Yeah.
I mean, that battery looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
We might steal it.
Oh shit. Okay.
I would like it.
I thought we were blowing everything.
I mean,
Doesn't
I
matter.
have to
It doesn't
get.
matter.
I gotta get you a
trying to
present.
I thought we were.
from being here.
No, I don't know.
Yay!
Hey, Mrs. Wharton, carry this.
Oh.
if that is indeed
Can
who it
I
is,
cook this into a bread
can I open the
bowl?
cage?
Skirmish that fucking cage, man. I want to see you punch that cage in the throat.
It would be a.
Come on.
Is the cage locked? I should ask.
It'd be a pretty poor cage if it wasn't locked. It was electrified though.
That's what I'm wondering.
Exactly.
Is that enough of a lock?
Yeah.
Was it
It's a good question.
Punch the cage.
It's locked. But
Okay, I
you're
do
Zane
have.
Seville, right?
I do have fine lockpicks, and I have finesse. I'm going to try to finesse this lock open.
Great. You're essentially you're opening it in a way that is cool, but also not attracting too much attention to yourself.
Finesse is one of the things that they talk about for lockpicks.
Yeah.
Tinker
no.
is
Oh no, it's perfect.
possible, but I don't have any tinker, and I have 1 finesse.
This makes sense to me. This is a controlled action.
Oh,
If
I like
you don't
controlled.
succeed,
Yeah,
you won't. You might have to try something a bit riskier to get in.
that's totally fine.
But it's a controlled action for now with
Okay.
standard effect. The door might open.
I am not going to spend any stress for this. We're just going to let this die roll. Let's go. That's a fail. I rolled a 3.
On by seizing a risky opportunity.
Sorry?
Press on by seizing a risky opportunity, or withdraw and try a different approach.
I think it's going to become risky at this
I think
point.
at this point,
I got to get somebody out.
the lock on this door is unfortunately quite old, quite rusted. You're very skilled with your tools, but sometimes the tools don't match the situation at hand.
Nice sweet talk the lock. Come on,
Playing Disco
baby, I just
Elysium,
need
I'm able
to get inside.
Oh.
Baggers.
Oh, Packers!
Greetings.
If you want to continue to do this, you're making it risky that you
Zone.
might lose these tools. Not forever. You have more tools, but
Like, definite lockpicks are not hard.
no, this is it. But you might, you're risking the tools and the door's integrity, or the lock's integrity rather, if you press on with this. Otherwise, we have options.
They're gold
Can I?
lockpicks, like
Is
engraved
there?
with your
There
initials.
isn't like any key in the room that I could find, is there?
Would you like to look?
I mean, I'm not very good at looking.
Why do we do this every time?
I have nothing in survey either. No, I'm gonna try to finesse the lock open, but now I'm gonna push myself.
Okay.
Not with a pen, John.
No, you're stressed forever.
No, you're stressed forever.
God,
Diane.
What
You
is
can
with
never-
these stressful rolls tonight, y'all?
Yeah.
What is going
That's how we do
on?
it.
For
Okay.
Mrs. Ward.
For Mrs.
Ward.
Ward.
5.
Okay.
Maybe we shouldn't breathe on his dice. He does better with that.
Oh my god.
The lock pops, and the door squeals open.
Oh.
The consequence is a loud noise being made by the door. I'm letting you know this in advance in case you want to resist this. It wasn't risky.
Thing is, I now only have 3 stress left.
Hello.
So we're in the same boat.
Jesus fucking
Do you know in a video game when you like get to the objective but then you die at the last second? The person's like, help, and you're like,
Yeah.
just ragged
So
on.
the consequence of this is that it makes a loud noise.
Correct.
There is pandemonium happening up top.
This is
But there
also
are
true.
people down here. If I trauma out, I'm immediately removed and nobody knows what happened to me.
That would be so bad.
Like I just look at Mrs. Ward, there's a big squeak, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck this, move! I just leave.
Yeah.
The door would be open, and it would be unelectrified. So, there's certainly some potential that the prone Mrs. Ward could wake up
I'm gonna
and get
mitigate
out.
it.
I'm literally
This
picturing
guy.
Link to the Past. You first fucking level, right? You get to Zelda, you unlock the thing, and then there's the dude with the
Yeah, I've
fucking
got 3 dice.
spinning
Yeah.
maze.
I got 3 dice.
And
We're going for
I
it.
was 2 away before. You're 3
Yeah.
away.
I'm
So
gonna,
there's
I'm gonna mitigate this.
okay. No, I shouldn't do that. Go ahead.
You should do what?
Nothing.
what are you doing?
This will be, you will take 6
Murder
stress minus
music.
the highest result.
The song where someone dies.
I will take 2 stress.
He's one away,
Son of a
fam.
bitch.
He's one
Son
away.
of a bitch.
Got a 4.
As the door begins to squeal, obviously Zane is able to, pick it up and just jimmy it open much more quietly.
Okay, still look at explosions.
There's a prone figure on the ground inside the cell.
All right, I'm going to approach the prone figure. The first thing I'm going to do is this figure covered so that I cannot see what the figure is, or are they prone? Well, you said prone.
I did.
No.
Does it look like the same size and shape of a publican?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I'm going to try to roll the publican, or roll the figure over so that I can see who it is.
I swear to God, Scott.
I know. I
know
want
you're
to be like,
thinking
about
it's
it.
a bomb
Ghastly.
shaped like a public.
I mean, if
got
that's what would happen,
rolled.
You got
if that's what happened, I'd respect you forever.
It's the 3-legged goat, and it has a body.
Oh God! How did you do this?
Oh,
The
Jesus.
3 bleats of the apocalypse.
The slack-jawed, unconscious figure of Mrs. Ward is revealed to you. She is looking worse for wear. Not physically injured as near as you can tell from a quick glance, but she looks haggard. She looks tired. She's been in an electrified cage for some amount of time. We don't know.
Can I encourage her to perhaps apply some mascara or rouge and maybe brush her hair? Because I need her to wake up.
You could,
Grab a brush, put a little makeup.
you could, yeah. I think she doesn't have any scars, but you could hide them anyway if you so chose.
How does she leave the keys up on the table?
What a weird place to leave keys.
Here you go, create
God.
another frown. You want to?
You're attempting to wake her up before you leave? Is that the idea?
Does she look so messed up that she wouldn't be able to move on her own power even if she woke up?
No. I mean, to your eyes.
She doesn't look like she's all.
She does not look like completely fucked up.
Yeah.
She is.
Because I also have a
elderly. I mean, I
silence
will just say
potion.
that.
I have a silence potion. I'm worried that she's going to wake up and scream. But if she's passed the fuck out, I'm not about to start pouring a silence potion down her throat.
Jesus Christ.
So the options are force feed an old woman a silence potion.
I'm going to gently try to wake her up. If gently doesn't do it, I'm just going to lift her.
Mrs. Ward's eyes flutter as she awakens.
Cool. Immediately, my hand's just gonna go straight over her
Her
mouth.
eyes go wide.
And I'm going to lift the
Goggles.
I
Oh,
love
thank God you remembered that.
so that she can at least see my face and not be like, woobly boobly boobly.
She kind of like there you can tell, like obviously there's panic from the thing. There's panic as she sees a goggled face. As the goggles come up, she relaxes and kind of nods her head shakily a few times.
This is
We're
whispered.
whispering.
Yeah.
Can you stand?
She nods.
Do it and everything that I tell you, and we can get out of here alive.
She looks relieved and more than a little frightened.
Don't hesitate. Just do.
She whispers back to you as quietly as possible, I'm a publican. I only do. I never hesitate.
You're a publican. You only stew.
Mrs. Ward's not taking a high five. I will take a high five from you later, though. That's awesome.
You have to do that after she sets the explosions going, so you walk away
Yeah,
from the
we haven't
explosion.
Don't worry, I got another one queued up.
Okay.
Don't worry, I might
Remind me.
fuck up this roll. It's really likely.
Well, I'm
the
pretty
person who
fucked up.
runs a
You're
pub.
You're less.
Yeah,
slightly
yeah.
less
It's the
fucked
person
up.
who runs a pub. She
Slightly.
runs the
You at
three
least
legged
can still
boat,
take two
the inn slash
stress
it's a
for
pub,
I
it's not
can't
a-
anymore. That's an interesting question now. I don't know what to like. I guess the only thing is I can try to mitigate things and hope I roll a 6.
Yeah.
Or
If you roll a crit on as we discovered for Liz, you actually heal 1 stress. That still doesn't help you.
It's mostly just I can't spend 2 stress to.
Nope.
So it's devil's bargains for me from now on
That's
if I need
right.
to die.
And help, depending on what the action is, of course.
I mean, these two seem to have to deal with their own stuff.
Dangerfield over here has got so many ideas.
Digil. It's not delivery, it's Digil.
It's not delivery, it's digil.
A publican is somebody who owns and operates a pub.
Hence, yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. A public house, as you will. Mrs. Ward nods and is ready to come with you. We're gonna go back outside, though.
I'm just going to tell
Yeah,
you,
yeah, one more.
I am decoupling the battery.
Okay, like to take it?
I'm stealing the battery.
Absolutely unbelievable. Okay.
Wonderful.
No evidence of my having tampered with it, but I'm sure gonna take
Explosions! Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's gonna. Everything will be covered up, right?
Explosions can hide a lot of sins.
it. Just sassing
I
you.
mean,
'cause-
if my bedroom is anything to go by, what?
What?
I don't. Sorry. I don't know what
I
I'm
live
talking
there too.
Decoupling?
No explosions.
There are
Heights.
bedrooms you don't know.
It wasn't great.
Our house is so
Decoupling.
small.
I was like, oh yeah.
Okay, I don't know what's happened here.
Into
It's
your
gone to
bedroom.
hell. Oh, jeez, here we go.
Oh God.
We're gonna go back outside as the Zane Seville struggles with, a relatively light on her feet, old woman and a large. Imagine a slightly larger car battery.
Yeah, I've got heavy climbing gear.
Yeah, you're good to
Down to
to
climb.
climb. Okay, I see. We're gonna go back outside. The two unless you guys wanted to interfere in this, of course, Thistle and Waif, you've watched as these 2 guards and their 4 dogs have been joined by a couple more cloaked figures who are attempting to drive off the ghostly beast. They've managed to sort of. None of them are like, masters of the ghost field or whatever. This is Duskfall. Things are dangerous, but they've managed to drive it off. For now.
Bye.
As it gallops off into the dark. And now the 4 figures and their dogs are turning back towards where they saw Morian last. You still there?
Looking impatient and frustrated, a little bit nervous, but also like, what the hell's going on? I'm here to talk.
The 4 rush over to you, and the young man with the mutton chops kind of points and says, "There, she's still here. She's still here. She said that there was someone kidnapped or hidden here or something, and then that beast attacked us."
There's a beast here. I don't necessarily want to stay and talk. What are you doing here? Do you have some sort of Where you seem to have your own problems. I don't want to be involved in your problems, but I also want my friend back. Now, is anyone here going to acknowledge the fact that you are holding someone here?
The oldest of the 4 gentlemen steps forward. He's wearing essentially a gleaming badge, announcing him as a blue coat, as a member of the city guard, essentially. Excuse me.
I'll remind people that when it comes to the blue coats,
We're at a -1?
we are specifically at a -1.
Yeah.
So not like terrible. And
That's
they also
okay.
have to know who
I
they
have a
are or who they're dealing with.
fine cover identity.
fine.
You're so fine.
I'm so excited for them
Yeah.
to be like, okay, show me your pottery skill. You know,
Yeah,
you find
yeah.
cover identity and then you have to make pottery or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that.
Oh my god.
Let's just
Secret
start with
skills.
Secret skills. Let's just do this. The older gentleman steps forward. He taps his badge. I understand that there is talk of corruption amongst the blue coats, and I will have you know that is unfounded.
This
Tonight.
is a blue coat facility.
It is not. We are on our usual patrols, madam. And I will have you know that upon my usual patrols, I have encountered no unusual activity save for one large hellhound summoned from the ghost field. Do you have any idea where that might have come from?
No, sir. Like, and I'm absolutely backing off, being like, "What the fuck is that?"
Two
in
of
the
them
direction
are
of the
moving
sound.
to make sure that you can't run. Like they're kind
Are
of
you going
trying.
to sacrifice me to this hellhound? What is
One
going on
is
here?
sacrificing you. You came to this train yard in
And
the dead
then
of
they
night.
all ran away, and you're telling me there's a hellhound on these premises?
We believe that someone may have summoned it, brought it forth from the ghost field, perhaps as a distraction. And with those words, he goes, fuck. And he snaps his fingers and he sends one of the other guys off to search the grounds. Search the grounds!
So you're saying this isn't your facility, but you're patrolling here tonight?
It's city property.
Of course.
I'm not sure why I'm explaining myself to you.
Well, okay, I'm here to talk to whoever spends their time here because I'm fairly certain that an innocent citizen has been taken, and I'm told they're being held on this property. I'm told that there may be underground facilities here.
There are storage facilities, yes.
I'm not trying to judge you or how you do your job or what you've done. I didn't expect to encounter you here, sir. But have your patrols taken you underground today? Because I'm told that this person is being held underground.
He
Yeah.
starts to speak as he reaches into his cloak.
Yeah.
A very plausible story. In Duskfall, it is entirely possible that an old, mostly abandoned rail station could be used as a cover for nefarious activity. However, equally likely is the nefarious activity of someone who has arrived in the middle of the night. I, unfortunately, have no reason to believe either version of this story.
Her name is Mrs. Ward. She is the publican of the Three-Legged Goat in Six Towers. She is relatively well liked by the frequenters of her tavern, and I heard that she had been taken, and I decided to try to find her because she does not deserve to be caught up in whatever is going on. I cannot believe that a woman like her would get in the kind of trouble that would get her captured and held down here. So, sir, I suppose I am filing a missing persons report. I'm sure you have other tasks that have brought you here tonight. A hellhound is probably more important than one woman. But if this is your patrol area, please look for a woman. And I am here to talk to whoever city property owns this.
Of course.
My understanding was that there was a gang that had her, and
A
I was here to
gang?
try to deal with whatever gang it was.
He motions around. I see no one
Are
else here.
these people also blue coats?
They nod, although a little shiftily. A little
Do
shiftily.
blue coats tend to have dogs like this?
More like mauve coats.
Do blue coats tend to have dogs like this?
He smiles thinly.
Like, this was sort of an out of character question.
Oh, yeah, no, that's actually a good
Yeah.
question. It's not unheard of, absolutely
Okay,
not. They
okay.
might have them for tracking.
Okay.
It's also, anybody could have dogs, either vicious or trained, right? It's not out of the question.
Okay.
Yeah. He smiles thinly and says, of course, a missing persons report. And I will absolutely let you know if we find anything on the grounds as we execute a much more thorough search, as he nods to the other two. We'll go back to the nearest precinct. Sorry.
Sir,
Not really
I'm sorry to do this, but can I please see your badge more closely?
He offers it to you.
Great, I'm going to look over it with my legal knowledge and hopefully assess whether it seems legitimate.
I can absolutely tell you it is.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry to
Keep
question.
away.
Oh no, my
Reality,
power!
this could be an excellent cover for whatever gang lives here. My hearing was that it was the Wraiths, sir.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention. He withdraws a pair of handcuffs from under his cloak. I'll ask that you come along quietly and without making too much fuss.
On what grounds?
Trespassing.
I am at the gate. I announced myself and I requested to speak to whoever was in charge. I did not enter. I was asked to enter. I followed until whatever was going on there happened, and then I retreated to the doorway.
The
I know my rights.
the young man behind you goes to shove you forward. And if this indeed happens,
I would like to roll a resistance roll. Yeah.
Yeah. This is so. So you can. Well, okay. So how? Yeah, you want to, I guess, stand your ground.
I would like to slip out of the way of how he's pushing me.
Delicious.
Just step back, so it's like a step off the property,
Right.
if anything.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the goal isn't to then just scamper away,
No,
right?
no,
It's
no,
just
no,
to be
it's
like,
just to be like, oh, you tried to get past me and you couldn't.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, scamper away. Maybe they'll chase you.
That's
Maybe
pretty good
we'll
too.
see. We'll see how this.
We'll see
Starting
how
with the
it plays out.
resistance.
So it won't be a resistance roll
Okay.
in the sense that this isn't. You're taking an action.
Yeah. Okay.
As am I.
But I guess this. I'm trying to say that this is a
feels
finesse
like a finesse roll. Yeah, exactly. So let's do it. It's risky. Actually, if you don't manage to get out of his grasp, he's going to push you into the arms of the waiting officer, and they will arrest you. I mean, barring anything insane.
Well, they'll
My ears are burning.
proceed to try to handcuff me.
Oh, yes, of course,
At which
yeah.
point I can attempt to take additional steps. Yes.
Yes, let's call it risky then. Let's call it.
Okay.
No, let's call it risky. I like it.
Wave's hand is just hovering over the nearest oil drum, ready to topple it over and start a huge fucking fire.
Is there some? I mean, legit question. Then, is there some? I can't see how you could directly assist with the slipping and dodging that's happening.
All she could do is, and she's ready to, she's ready to start this fire prematurely
Unbelievable.
and cause absolute mayhem so that we can all
So
get
I
away.
die underneath.
No, you'll
Die.
slip out the door in the perfect split second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That'll be down to a fortune roll, just by the way. It won't have anything to do with it. I'm just
boy.
kidding, I'm kidding.
I'm going to push myself for 2 stress.
Great.
I guess I could try to summon another ghost. That worked so well.
So it'll give me a 35. So I'm okay to roll this as is.
As is.
I got a 4.
Okay.
I got a 4.
So now we're gonna talk resisting consequences here because
Yeah.
so it's gonna happen. You're gonna
Yeah.
dodge him.
Yeah.
Make it desperate. We could.
Fucking hell.
No, the complication is going to be faction pissing off a faction. The blue coats are going to be absolutely. Well, this blue coat in particular is going to be furious with you.
With Marion de Gilles.
Yes.
So as much as like I'm not trying to scapegoat it, I'm trying to say maybe that isn't the right.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Like
actually,
I've used
'cause it won't actually.
Yeah, I don't want to like cheat out of a consequence.
That's
Yeah.
honestly fair. Okay.
Also, he hasn't asked for my name or any idea. Or
Yeah, that's actually a good point. He's gonna,
I'm really mad
to
at
arrest you, right?
Yeah.
Women with that length of hair.
Yeah.
God, arrest all of them in town.
Anyone with a long scarf. Yeah.
That's scarf. He's finding me a scarfed woman.
Yeah.
Then the consequence will be the calling in of additional reinforcements.
Okay. I'm gonna sidestep this person.
All part of the plan?
Yeah. I'm gonna sidestep this person.
We're gonna kill so many blue coats.
Sir, I am not trespassing. I am happy to stay here.
Are you happy to leave or are you happy to stay here?
I'm happy to stay here, and I'm at the threshold, right? I am not going to leave until I have an answer. Whether that takes me days or weeks or months. I will only leave so long as I need to survive.
We've reached an impasse then, because I can't have you standing here while there are threats to my men. He motions to where the hellhound was before.
I can stand. I stayed when they ran off last time. I'll stay when they run off this time.
You step foot on this property, and I will arrest you. But you're saying you won't leave.
Correct.
How are you going to find your friend?
You said that you would file a report, sir. I have brought a missing person to the attention of the Bluecoats. Do you not? Of course, the Hellhound or whatever that disaster is. I'm stressfully looking towards wherever it is, looking for any sign of additional motion. Takes precedence, but if I have to camp here for days and weeks, then I will do so.
There's a snort from one of the other, the guy who attempted to push you, and he's in your field of vision again. He's not trying to do anything.
What? Sorry, can
He made a snorting sound. Sorry, it wasn't me.
Yeah, but what is the
he's
intention
gonna
of it?
spit probably.
Okay.
I thought it was
Sorry.
a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, because touching the side of your nose makes me think that they're doing drugs or something. So that's why I asked.
That's
you
I just had to do a bump.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
This is real
You're a voice. You do voice acting.
Completely fair,
You know
honestly.
how to simulate sounds, but to me, who doesn't necessarily know how that's done, I'm like, what are you doing?
Are we calling this episode the stew, or are we calling it? Doesn't matter.
Railjack's doing rails.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Couple of idiots go to a train yard.
He steps closer to his boss, for lack of a better word, and he goes, "She's right, you've reached an impasse. She's not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere." He looks meaningfully at his sergeant and takes a pistol out of his holster. It's moving towards you in slow motion. What do
You're
you do?
going to shoot me. I'm talking,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
consorting. This is my current move, is to consort my way out of it. You're going to shoot me for standing here.
That's the action. This is going to be a desperate action because you're attempting to persuade them not to kill you.
Oh my god.
Consequences are they kill you.
Well, the consequences are you get shot. I'm not pulling a punch on that. That is what will happen.
Okay.
I mean, you could just try to stress your way out of it.
No, so this is a consort action. It's a desperate action.
Absolutely desperate. You can mark that.
I love what you just filled in, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
What'd you fill in?
Yeah,
You'll see.
Requiem. I love that in this universe.
I also don't have to fill it in until I declare it, so I can erase that.
Brilliant.
Sorry, ST over here being what? What are you feeling?
Okay, so this is a consort. This is a desperate consort action. Great, I get some XP. Thank you.
Waif's got her foot next to the oil drum.
But this isn't an action rule, so I can't push myself or accept a desperate.
No, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
It's just the way this is laid out.
Oh,
It
yeah,
looks
of course.
like it's got a horizontal line to separate them. So I'm like, I can't do that.
I'm not allowed to do that.
Um,
Where are we at? Good.
I'm gonna push myself for
That's honestly
an
a good
extra
idea.
die.
I think that's a good idea.
Well, now you're up to the same level of stress as me.
Yep. Those are threes.
Oh god. Oh my god.
3 through what? 3 through 2.
Okay. Here's how it's going down.
I am wearing armor.
Okay. Okay. So you may mark off. Well, I'll tell you what the consequence is because you can roll your prowess to resist with stress.
Okay.
However, as you point out, and this is incredible, your armor can be marked to save you from the harm. Well, it will downgrade the harm.
Great.
It won't mitigate a bullet to the gut.
If I roll well enough, right, with
So this
between
is
my
the-
prowess. So how does this work?
Great question.
This is the first time I think anyone's getting shot.
The pistol rolls up, and you can kind of see that the sergeant guy, he looks conflicted, and as the words are coming out of your mouth, maybe there's a hit, bang.
Oh my god.
There's a flash of light and the smell of gunpowder. You hear this for sure. You hear a gunshot cracking on the other side of the train
Do I
yard.
hear it?
You've made it out.
Where the fuck is he right
Great
now?
question.
I'm on my way out.
Zane Seville,
after,
the doors are opening. You hear a gunshot.
I know exactly what I want to do, but I'm just going
I'm
to
so
wait for
What
excited.
I want to do too.
This is going to be level 3 harm, shot in the gut. You may roll to resist. It will downgrade it to level 2 harm. Stomach
Broken
wound.
rib?
What?
Broken rib?
Yeah, I know there's like specific terms or whatever, but yes,
don't know.
broken rib or bruised rib or something will be that instead.
It's one of those punchy pistols as opposed to a real.
No, like I mean, it could be like a somewhat glancing blow. So the way it works, you will roll your prowess. The highest result is 6 minus that much stress that you will take to mitigate the consequence. Now, I know that you're somewhere near the top of your
I have one
bar as well.
stress left.
No.
So I might
Yeah.
potentially as well.
Yeah.
You can mark your armor for the same effect
Okay.
because you said you have armor because
Yes.
you brought it, right?
Yeah.
Because you brought your armor.
Yeah.
Maureen, what's Thistle? Sorry.
Yeah?
What's the armor that you're wearing under this magical, large infinity scarf?
Yeah. I also wear like a coat or whatever. Right.
She's
Um,
one scarf, no?
So it's armor. It's not heavy armor.
Okay.
But I, because armor takes two load. Heavy armor adds +3, so that's 5 load to have heavy armor. So it's regular armor. It is a mixture of like a fine mesh, almost like.
Nope.
I can picture it and I can't describe what it belongs to. But it's either like a fine metal mesh layered over layers and layers and layers of denim. So I look heavier set
Okay,
than
yeah.
Thistle usually is because she is
Bulkier, sure.
wiry in her standard
But she
description.
looks, relatively
So she looks,
normal.
perhaps slightly heavier set than an average person compared to actually being lighter set than an average person. And so the fine metal mesh is intended to help against slashing, but the density of the material is also to help against bludgeoning and a bit more of the slashing and potentially something penetrating like a bullet.
This armor does kind of, well, I wouldn't say it's a jack of all trades, but it definitely has the ability to resist all sorts of different kinds of weaponry that you might encounter in a dark alley in Duskfall.
And maybe, just maybe, she has something in her pocket as well, depending on how well the resistance goes.
Well, so
like a Bible or whatever the like generic thing, right? He got shot, but his Bible was
Yeah,
there
lock
and
it,
just
yeah.
saved
It's
her.
so
Yeah.
good.
Unlock it. It's just when you
Yeah.
open it, it's just the two of us, like engravings,
Yeah.
the two of us going.
But obviously it's now cracked down the
Yeah,
middle
yeah.
between the two.
Oh no.
Armor will mitigate this from
Yeah.
level 3 harm to level 2 harm.
Okay.
You can mark your level 2 harm and your armor. You can cross it off. Your level 2 harm, just for now, and I might change it. We're gonna call it cracked rib,
Okay.
and yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. So if you need to take sort of a physical action from here on out before
Yeah.
this is healed, I
Yeah.
believe that's -1.
It's a -1 die, yeah.
Nice one, die.
Okay.
That said,
Yeah.
it's fucking awesome.
Oh my god.
Thistle, you can feel the impact of the bullet. This guy's only a few feet away from you.
Yeah.
It rockets you off
Yeah,
your feet
I like
and back
fall to my
into the
butt and
grass.
then like fall down.
Yeah.
But As soon as I am able to catch my awareness and my mind, I'm going to lock eyes with the sergeant.
What the fuck? Okay.
I just said you're going to shoot me for standing here, and I'm like keeping that same thought and that same intention locked on the sergeant. As I after I've knocked down, look at him like.
Okay, I know there's two actions happening over here. Hit me up. This is terrifying. Go ahead.
Can I start the cranky box? I want to record this.
Why do you want to? Why?
You overwrite what we're about to say.
No, I'll add it on
understood,
at the end. But we've got her being like, you're going to shoot me for just standing here. They're being little shits. Like, I want to record this shit and take it for blackmail purposes
You can
later.
absolutely take that action. I don't need you to do anything else. You don't need to roll. I mean, sorry.
Very important.
Yes.
Is there a train coming?
God damn.
I'm so excited.
I'm making a fortune roll because I don't know.
Yeah, I love it.
And I want to make it down to the dice here. However, I'm going to use the scale of the place that we're in. Coming in? Yes. It is still relatively distant. It's coming.
All right. Mrs. Ward, hook yourself into my apparatus.
What?
You're what? Sorry, you're what, dear?
I said do it.
Yeah, she kind of, I guess.
I'm going to burst from the doors. Goggles back down, cloak around to conceal my features and all that.
Of course.
And I'm just going to shout out, not this time, and I'm going to fling the grappling hook to catch the train and then let it lift me up and away with Mrs. Ward, hopefully distracting them and maybe having them chase so that she can set off the explosives and that these two can get away.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck booby traps.
Yeah, we're done.
I'm just starting the fucking fire and we're getting the hell out of here.
We need some different action, I think, here. I need more action, I think. Okay. So this is all, I feel like this is all happening all at the same moment. So
What the hell?
Crack.
Wave.
Reaction.
Later,
reaction.
what you're going to be able to hear on the recording device is the following. You're going to shoot me. Bang! And then some panicked voices arguing about what to do, and then a resounding crash. And
Well,
then,
she still says the thing that she
and
says.
then she said it again, right? Which was
Oh, I didn't repeat it.
Oh, okay,
It was
just
the intention. It was the the
There's
continued
two
thought.
panicked
Yeah.
voices of two men arguing about whether they need to, make sure it's done or not.
Oh my god.
And then
If I hear that, then I'm gonna pretend to faint.
that's fair. I love it.
After the
death.
soul crushing stare.
Okay, and then
Bite your
Blood
lip.
loss.
Bite your lip. Spit out some
a
blood.
little blood too.
Yeah.
And then suddenly a massive metallic clang and the unmistakable sound of Zane Seville's voice.
We're gonna listen to this every night before going to sleep, fam. I don't even care.
Not
It's
today.
Tonight. It's night though, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Not tonight.
Oh my
John,
god.
Alternate line. I smell bacon.
We'll include both in the track.
Okay, good. We'll do the
Rub
alt
it
later.
over.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Not tonight. And I'm gonna fling the grappling hook, hoping that it'll catch onto the train so that I can lift up with Mrs. Ward. Hopefully they'll chase for a little bit. I'm gonna run along the ground as it's lifting me up, run up the
I just
the
want
fence.
this to happen. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out whether
It
I.
needs to. It needs to.
Yeah, but we'll find out whether I die.
This is correct.
You die.
John.
You get slammed into a pillar.
Obviously, this is a wildly desperate action that you're taking.
I figured it would be.
This is insane. Mrs. Ward cannot assist you.
I doubt it.
She looks about 10 years younger. I will say, in that moment when you shout, she gets a little blush in her cheeks. You know what I mean? She's
goddamn right.
She's kind of like, damn, Seville. Making the timing of hooking onto a train, because look, the possibility is you miss. You hook onto the. There it is. I mean, who doesn't love that?
Oh my god.
I agree, Requiem. It's turning out awesome.
Yeah. It's got little cable and everything.
Okay.
You could miss the train.
It's very possible.
You could hook onto a part of the train that you could propel yourself at a velocity that's dangerous. You could hit something on the way up. Who knows? It's a desperate action. Potentially great effect. I am so jazzed. What are you? Well, I know what you're doing. How do you see this action go?
Okay. If I'm not,
honestly
if
not
I
sure.
don't miss my guess, if I don't miss my guess, this is actually a prowl roll because it is traversing.
I can't argue with you. There's some chutzpah in it.
I am, so as I said, I'm
Moxie.
trying to latch onto the train so that I can run and then like basically wall run up the fence and jump so that it will carry us away. And then I'll just have to try climbing as best I can to make sure that I don't pancake into the side of a building.
Oh God.
That's your roll.
Scott,
Yeah.
what kind of a devil's bargain? Oh.
Jesus Christ.
You're planning on destroying the train yard. This is the plan.
Yep.
I want to offer you the following devil's bargain.
Yeah.
Collateral damage.
Yeah.
Your grappling hook, regardless of pass or fail, will injure, maim, or kill someone on that train.
On the train?
On the
And
train.
that's up to a fortune roll or what?
It's going to happen if you take this devil's bargain. No, I mean, look, the question is, do you want the blood on your
cannot
hands?
afford the no. It's less that I look. The death of an innocent. It's not necessarily the end of the world. The death of an innocent, as I make a daring escape that blue bloods are watching, and they don't necessarily know who I am, but I absolutely don't want them to then go on a manhunt to find me.
That is
because I've killed somebody on the way out.
There's going to be heat from this action. There's going to be heat anyway, right?
Yeah, but
So,
I don't want
hear
to
you,
risk
I hear
it.
you.
So
All right.
it's going to be 4 dice, and let's just fucking go.
I want this to work for you. I really do.
5.
You feel the hook sink into
This is weird.
the side. Sink into, like,
Skull.
skull. Jesus Christ! It latches onto the train, and the daring do that you had planned to sort of run along the ground as it lifts you up is undone relatively quickly as the train carries you up and away at a velocity that is much faster than you anticipated.
Do his pants fall down?
That's the consequence. Just
Just embarrassment, yeah.
That'd be great.
The consequence that I'm going to offer you here, John, is
That's not his body flapping.
yeah, we're doing it. It's level 2 harm. You're going to you're not going to break a leg. I think you're going to injure one. You're going to catch one of your feet on the side of a rusted out train car as you're being lifted up. Do
You
you
know
want to
what?
resist this?
I do.
Yeah.
If I roll a 6,
Yeah.
I get away with this. Otherwise, I'm taking trauma, but I'm not breaking my leg.
Okay, so you removed a die for your.
Yeah, but I assume that I still get away.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. No, sorry. The
The
Yeah.
trauma removes me from the score.
yeah. Of course.
But
Sorry.
I've got Mrs. Ward and a big ass battery.
And this will reduce your harm to level 1. Just to be clear, right? You won't.
No, don't I resist entirely?
Oh yes. Sorry. Yeah.
I resist entirely, but if I take any stress, I'm going to get trauma.
Correct.
And
Here
I
we
have a
go.
feeling like I know which trauma I might pick up. Reckless is on the
We're
board.
gonna see, right?
We'll see.
It's me.
Is it your choice or mine? I don't. You know what? I don't even
That's
care.
actually a good question.
Let's
We're gonna
find
talk about
out.
it later.
Ah,
Fuck. We need to
reroll.
we need to re-roll it.
Both dice or just
Both
the
dice,
one die?
please.
Okay.
You said both?
Both. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I take 1, which is enough.
It is too bad.
So he runs away screaming like a madman
Morian,
to the.
sorry, Thistle, you hear this. Waif, you see this. The Cranky Box also records this. As,
You reduce severity of harm. It's not.
my choice, Kung Fu Fenris. Or
It's not
Right.
that I eliminate the consequence,
you
but
can
I.
reduce or it depends.
Okay.
In the case of getting shot at close range, as a reduction by 1 level. Here, by 2, essentially,
Okay.
to remove it entirely. As you are lifted up and away, yes, you're going to reset all of your stress. John, you're going to take your first level of trauma.
Yay!
Reckless, as you feel your heart pounding in your chest, resonating with the victory of what you've managed to pull off.
I mean, he's already been.
I was going to say, like, Zane is a daredevil, but I'm wondering if he now feels
It's about to
like
get
he can
worse.
shoot death at every turn.
God damn!
Yay!
All right, I'm out of the score, folks. Good luck.
That's okay.
Hopefully that was a distraction.
You have
Well,
the publican with you, so like
indeed,
mission accomplished.
The two guards and their dogs are. There was already one racing around looking. There are two more, and they take off after the cloaked figure with something or someone attached to him, and they're shouting at it to stop, but it won't last for very long. What do the two of you do now that you're unobserved? Briefly.
I want to, if this is all right with this all, kick over one of the oil drums to start a chain reaction of blazing fire, and grab my shot friend
do that as well?
and get her the fuck out of this train yard.
You asked if I was okay with it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I kick one of the barrels, to going dum 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 dum.
Yeah,
And then I,
Boom, 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 boom.
Mr. Sandman.
so the rest of your sentence was that you're gonna pick
Bring
me
some
up?
flames.
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna support you, because you've been shot.
I just wonder if that
Emotionally and
blows the
physically?
entire cover story of my being alone.
Is anyone still looking at you when there's a fire going?
Not currently.
You can
not
stagger
not at
off.
the moment.
Because, yeah, my plan was to stagger off.
Perfect,
So
if
it's
you
just a
can
question
manage
of
that.
if we'd be observed, I don't want the help. If we wouldn't be, then I'll take the help.
Sounds
Currently,
good.
you're not being observed.
Okay,
I will
right.
say that the potential of partial success or a consequence here could be that they watch you do this, right?
Right.
It's a potential consequence. I'm not saying that's going to happen because you might roll a critical. Well, you told me what you're doing.
Yeah.
This feels like a wreck to me. Does it feel like a wreck to you?
I guess so.
Aw, what do you think?
I have nothing else to. No, it's not a tinker because I'm panicking. This isn't the thing I set up. This is me kicking over an oil drum with a fire.
I
charge
really want
faster.
you to make this go at some point, but
I do
want
wanna know what-
But the thing is, you set the tinkering. You've done the
Yeah.
work already.
I know, but I haven't set the door charge. Like the things, because I don't know. What do you think?
It feels like a wreck to me.
Yeah.
Is that the question? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. What? Okay. I could push myself. I can't afford to take 2 more stress. I can do it. Or
Always
I could ask
downtime.
about your devil's bargain, my friend. What you got?
More harm for this one? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Oh my god!
I got shot again.
Just shot again. Yeah.
Jesus.
Just burned alive. Horrible.
Also, do my wrecking tools make this an easier roll? Like, what's the deal with fine?
They upgrade the effect level.
Oh.
So if it was going to be like a reduced effect, it could make it standard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Or
useful
from
here.
standard to grade or
Or
whatever.
from standard to grade, exactly. So whereas you could just start a fire, your destructive tools or your fine wrecking tools are going to allow this to be a conflagration almost immediately. Lol. I'm just doling out harm today. You took a level, didn't you?
I took a 1, yeah. And there's 2 spaces for level 1. Does that mean I can take 2 level 1 harms?
Before it upgrades to level 2.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's my devil's bargain for you. Is another level 1 harm.
Done.
Okay, it's. I should probably tell you what it is.
Tell me.
It's burned. It's chemical burned.
Yeah, great.
Singed. Yeah, basically it's burned.
Give me a chemical burn. I'll take it.
As you go to tip this over, you're going to spill some of the material on you. It's not. You won't light on fire, but it does burn. So you took an extra die for
I have
that?
an extra die.
Absolutely unbelievable. Let's do this. This is. Sorry, I should have said. Did I say it's a risky action?
Cool.
Potentially great effect.
6.
Excellent. Very close. Hey, very close to a crit.
Yeah,
6 and a 5.
six.
guys are
a 6 and a
killing
5.
it.
Oh, motherfucker.
If by it we mean a couple of blue bloods, then or blue
And
coats, then
almost Thistle with her
yeah.
garbage rolls, but that's okay.
Waif does not wear armor. She believes that limits her effectiveness with the ghost field. It's a thing.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Fenris. I
She's
couldn't make it up if I tried.
Absolute.
Do you
Imbecile.
want to? Do you want to tell us what you think that this feels like. I'm gonna kind of continue the description.
So I think that what happens is she's trying out her silent shoes, which unfortunately means the soles are very thin. She kicks over the oil drum, which of course activates the vial of the fire oil, instantly burning through her shoes. Prototype.
They ruined.
Fucker.
Yeah,
She makes some mental notes, gritting her teeth against the pain, the intense pain of the burn. But the domino effect is activated, and she, if no one's watching, scrambles, limping towards her friend to help her get away.
They're indeed. All the two blue coats that you can see.
Crack just my eyelashes, and then
there is a thin, raving figure stumbling towards you.
Oh, her.
It's
Great.
exactly. Oh, thank God. You can hear screams of panic as flames begin to lap and lick at the sides of some of the containers in the train yard. If you glance back, you can see that the flames are beginning to consume the doors that Zane left open.
Scrubbing the evidence.
Also, all these explosions and fire are happening as I'm being carried away by the train. So I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna look at Mrs. Ward. I'm glad that wasn't your stop. And then I slip the goggles back down.
Mrs. Ward passes out. She's holding on to you. She's just strapped in or whatever, but she's passed out.
I no longer care. I'm reckless, baby.
God.
Exactly, yeah. If you glance back, there are flames beginning to consume part of the old train yard. You can hear the screams of panic turn to screams of fear as you rush away from the train yard. And as Zane is carried away, now this train will eventually leave town, so you'll need to
Happy
get off at some
Christmas
point.
to all!
Yeah, tell me.
Can subterfuge supplies include fake blood?
Yeah, I
Great.
don't see why not. Sure.
I'm going to
Unbelievable. Yep.
toss as my friend helps me to my feet.
Excuse me.
I'm going to try to dash a trail of what looks like blood, like a splash where I was, and then off in a different direction than where we ran.
Nice.
I like that a lot. Throw them off the scent. Mm-hmm. They come to look for you.
And also in the opposite direction, if someone sees fleeing figures.
Of course.
Not the same direction as the blood trail of the person who got shot.
Right.
Absolutely bananas, y'all.
Was the plan, I presume, was to meet back at the three-legged dog?
We didn't
either
know
in
we'd
the
get
lair
this far.
or either in the lair or in the front parlor. I don't know what you guys had planned.
Three-legged goat, yeah.
Goat. Did I say dog?
Yeah.
Hair of the dog is what I was thinking. Also, devil dogs, ghost dogs, demon dogs. Incredible.
Jesus.
Zane, the train, if you remained attached to it, would eventually carry you out of town into the ghost land, into the Deathlands. So I think you want to.
No, I'll disengage.
You're not gonna. I don't want to tell you how it works, but I will tell you that it looks really cool. As you detach on a rooftop, you kind of basically skip along it as you come to a screeching halt, and the train passes.
Oh, I imagine that there's this big old turnbuckle that I go turn and then punch, and that lets the rope out of it, so that it'll just carry my grappling hook away, which is fine. I'll get another one, and I'll slide against the gravel of the rooftop. And then just drop to one knee and plant my fist
Poser.
at the end of it.
Mrs. Ward is once again awake and looks up at you. What? Are you a hero?
We have to get you home.
Dearie, you came for me. Why? Why did you do that? You're in such danger now.
Nothing will ever stop me again.
She, a little bit of a shiver runs through her. It's hard to tell whether it's one of excitement or fear. Maybe both. She'll let you take her home. Should the three-legged goat?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Alec.
Can you walk?
Yikes.
She nods. She's frail, right? Like she's elderly, but she can walk. Yeah.
We need to find a gondolier.
Follow the singing.
Get one of them to take us back.
Okay. I guess I'll ask if the other two would have. It's not a next door neighborhood. Would you also have thought of like gondoliering back or running back or
Totes. I think so.
Gondoliers are like our default
Yeah.
default mode of transportation?
Yeah, and I feel like we've paid them like
Yeah.
2 coin in the last week.
Yeah.
And we're
I mean,
up
they
with
give
them.
rides to people. That's their whole deal.
Yeah, that's their shtick,
Plus,
right?
it'll
For
make
sure.
us look a little less suspicious.
Yeah.
You know, oh, we're just 2 tourists out for a ride.
Mrs. Ward, you're gonna have to pretend to be my lover.
No problem, dearie. Now kiss these old leathery lips. Ugh.
Well,
Whatever, I'm reckless.
It's your eye.
you now have 12 diseases.
Oh no!
12.
Yeah, 12.
Damn.
On the first day of disease, Okay. Absolutely, the gondoliers are more than happy to, of course, take rides from paying customers / people they know well and so on. I'm just going to say there's nothing of note necessarily on these gondola rides. As you return to the three-legged goat, and Mrs. Ward stumbles in and looks around. She's her instinct is to like start puttering and doing her publican trade, but she turns back and there's tears in her eyes, and she goes to shake everyone's hands.
I've ditched my gear and stuff. I've packed up. I'm
Yeah.
no longer wearing the cloak or anything like that.
She nods at all three of you and she just says, "Thank you so much, dearies. You didn't have to come for me. I'm just an old woman. But you put your lives at risk and I appreciate it. You've done me a great service. What can I do for you?" She
Not
looks a little like,
blame us for what happened to you.
"Of course not. It's Duskfall, dearie. You don't get to be my age without living through a kidnapping or two or a ghost attack or two." She still looks pretty ashy, though.
You could let us make you some dinner. That's how you could repay us.
By us, I mean you. I'm gonna like ease myself down into a chair.
I'm going to help our shop friend as well, but I would like to make you some stew in a bread bowl. Would you let me do that?
I would let you, dearie. She looks a little suspicious, maybe.
I thought a blue coat wouldn't just shoot me for existing. Thought too highly of them.
Some of them got itchy trigger fingers, you know? She shakes her head. The world's gone to hell, hasn't it? In a handbasket, or maybe bread basket. She giggles a little bit. Dearies, who were they that took me? That woman with the mask, the goggles on her face. She was so terrifying.
She spoke to you?
Of course, dearie, every day.
What did she say?
She eases herself down into a chair and she shakes her head. She said it'd all be over soon. That there'd be no room left for anyone else in Duskfall. She said the celebrations would be marked with screams and blood. I thought maybe I was just having a nightmare, dearies. Maybe I still am. She doesn't look convinced.
Have you ever seen a ghost, Mrs. Ward?
She nods. Yes.
Ghosts are those who have already died. Who told you that? Someone who's on her way to becoming one. And I'm going to turn, and I am going to walk directly towards the broom closet, because I'm going to ditch the stuff that I'm carrying in our hideout. Especially because I have like a
The battery.
glowing blue battery.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty.
And then when I get down there, I put all this stuff down. just going to look up. Crack my knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to head back upstairs. Just a private moment of celebration.
Absolutely.
I caught the train.
You dropped us from the train and you caught the train.
It's true.
She said, the celebrations will be marked with screams and blood. It'll all be over soon. What else did she say? One more?
That's all
Left
Mrs. Ward's
for anyone in Dustfall.
Correct.
There won't
If
be
anyone else
anything
wants to
left?
join the
Room
goth
for
club at
anyone
high
else.
school,
No room for anyone.
Mrs. Ward has not reported anything else. But she will accept the stew that you prepare for her waif. I won't make you roll for it, it's fine.
Thank you.
Dude.
it's a desperate act.
It's a desperate action, yeah. This old lady could croak at any second. You gotta be
Very
careful.
good with poisons, not so good
Oh, jeez.
at other things.
Zane, you've had your private moment of celebration. Thistle, your aching ribs are just screaming out for rest and attention, but you've done it. Somewhere on the other side of Duskfall, a fire rages, and within that fire, scraps of paper, old rail cars, and a couple human remains are ablaze.
More like cremains.
And I think we'll end the session here. Yay.
What the fuck?
Like cremains. Incredible.
I want to take extra downtime actions, and it's not like I want to heal and I want to reduce stress, but there's actually other things that I want to do for once.
I might
That
be
is
able
a
to help
training.
because I don't have to bleed off any stress this time.
It's true.
I have no stress. I am stressless.
We will. I've
The
been
young
a
and the
little lax
stressless.
about discussing and posting stuff in our message history and so on. You may spend coin to take additional actions during downtime. I'm not sure if it's just one or if it's multiple. I'll check.
Sweet.
We will talk about payoff from this
Nice.
score. Naturally, Mrs. Ward is not paying you in nothing more than, she has her
Food.
kindness and her food. But of course, Rowan will be very interested in the cranky box with its addition on it that you are now going to be turning over.
Gregon, hey!
Good morning, Craig. How's Monday?
But there you go. That brings us to the end of session 3 of Whispers in the Water, Blades in the Dark. I'm just
my
looking for
God.
some music. There we go.
Holy crap.
I mean, that was pretty exciting, I gotta say.
Yay, thank
Excellent.
Pretty good about the
Excellent.
train yard tussle.
The train yard
you.
tussle.
I think the last two have been affairs, so I was going to say it's the Railyard affair is what I.
The Railyard affair is probably the best.
Fiery law.
I like Trailyard Tussle, but like
Yeah.
if we're
Ballroom Blitz.
Trailyard Tussle is pretty good.
And it exploded on me. I'm not even going to wipe it off. Thanks,
I mean,
Pat.
that sounds
Thanks,
literally
Pat.
like what you'd have said this session as
Yes,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
As we often do here on RPG Clinic, if we're in the middle of a campaign, we talk about what we've learned. We highlight some play, and then we talk a little bit about what's coming up throughout the week. This is all coming at you right here in John's face. Oh, sorry. Geez, that's bad. Scott's, relatively dapper
Suave. Scott's suave. Scorner.
Scorner. I know. Suave Solarium?
Scott's dapper nook.
I don't know.
Yikes.
It was exciting and intense. Awesome. I want to say, this isn't a thing I learned. I just want to say that was a great session, and I want to thank all three of you because it was fucking awesome, and I had a great time.
Thank you.
Suave Salon. I will start, as I never have, in the middle. I don't believe. John, what did you learn? And do you want to highlight a play?
So I learned that taking trauma is actually not so bad.
Yeah.
I cleared all of my stress.
You also
And-
timed it perfectly.
And I
Yeah,
timed
you
it
did.
towards the end. I figured that I could have tried to get out quietly, and I learned that I was like, if I take trauma, I take trauma. It's not so bad. And I think I'd prefer the trauma over the injury at this point, because at least it erases all of my stress, because otherwise I would have entered the next session with a ton of stress, so I would have still been in a bad moment. And if I'm going to take trauma, I'll take it at the end. I am going to I have to point out at this time, Kate, when you throw down, you commit so hard to like the indignation and the feeling of just like, but this is how it is, and you will accept my version of reality.
How dare you? Yeah.
But like, it's the thing is that in the context of this affair, along with all the other affairs, we need that commitment or it doesn't work. Like, then it really, we're just up a creek, but you make it fun to see. So thank you.
It's very nice. Go to Kate.
I learned how much guts Moran has, and or how much guts Moran lost. But that she was willing to stick her ground, and even seeing the gun being pulled, that she was willing to like try to talk her way out of it was an interesting discovery. And I want to highlight the summoning of the fucking spirits. You're like, shit, what do I do? But like, holy shit, to what effect was that? And I love that you aren't backing down from the, non-obvious approach. It's like the obvious approach would be, I'm gonna hide. You're like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna fucking summon a ghost to distract people.
And
yes.
I think it essentially got us through basically to after Mrs. Ward was rescued, right?
Yeah.
Like it got us through. And,
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Thank you. I mean, much like John, I was learning about trauma this session, but for me, I forgot that taking the first point of trauma took you out of the score. So for me, it was too early.
Yeah.
John's timing was perfect, and mine was just like, well, I really hope I don't take it, because then I'll be missing like an hour and a half of game.
That's it.
Fortunately, it was one of my luckiest rolls of my life, so that's great.
I mean, when that roll went down, I was just like,
that was an awesome moment, and I'm so pleased.
There's some great rolls today.
But then I'm gonna segue that to John's decision to take the trauma in that moment, or to at least know that you were probably going to. And the description of grappling hook onto the side of the train and swinging along like a madman, I could picture it perfectly, and it was awesome.
I just was really hoping there was going to be a train.
Yeah.
Because if there was no train, I was like, well, I could just like try to get up to the tracks and pull my way up, but that's not as cool.
I did want to leave it a little bit to fortune, but I definitely gave us a chance. You know what I mean?
I would not have been upset if you had said no. I am going
too convenient, potentially, right?
I'm gonna point out something that I really like about it. Your devil's bargains really make me think.
That's the hope, right?
And because otherwise I could see it just be so easy to be like, oh yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
And like the last one you gave me, like, yeah, sure, but you're going to kill someone on the train or maim someone on the train. And I thought, like, that really was just like, that doesn't actually sound so bad.
Yeah.
But it could be bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I'm ready for my character to be ready to just be okay with killing an innocent, not even as like, well, you happen to be around bad people, but just like you happen to be on a train and I had to get out. That I'm
honestly a little surprised because I offered it up as like we're bad people doing bad things. I really thought it was like, I thought you were going to take it.
But I didn't
really
because of the heat.
Yeah.
Because I figured if I killed somebody on the train, there's going to be a bunch of heat.
No, for sure. This would be
But if I
more.
killed somebody on the train, it'd be more. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate the fact that you're not making this easy. I know I've said that before, but like specifically about the devil's bargains, I've asked for them.
Yeah.
I think I've only taken one or two.
I was going to say, it's not like all the time.
I don't take them, but like that's what a bargain should be, and I really appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much. I appreciate that feedback. And my goal going into today was to do something action-packed. I think mission accomplished, goal achieved.
Yep.
Tick, and to make it, if not tougher, then at least to give out those interesting decisions. And I think we really did
The
those.
stakes were present, I
That's
think,
it.
for all three of us, which is pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm thrilled.
Because we even split up, and you still managed to get the stakes.
I think it
really intense, scary moments for each of us.
Well, I mean, of course, there's going to be more sessions as we find out with this crew, the Moxie. We're gonna see if that title sticks. How they're going to proceed now that they're going to turn in their evidence of the previous score, their physical evidence rather, to their contact with the ciphers. However, you have a whole week of stuff to wait.
Are we doing
XP? Oh yeah, we always do XP, don't we? I did forget. Yes, let's do XP. I love it. Okay, who rolled desperate actions? Everyone. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, but I marked them
I
all.
think
we already marked
yeah.
Oh, I have to mark mine for the last thing I did.
Woo! Ribeye steaks. Love that, Kung Fu Fenris. I will start with Kate. Let's do XP.
Address a challenge with calculation or conspiracy. I would say yes.
I mean,
I express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I would also say yes.
Okay.
My drives to get the answer, and my background in the law. When I was like, I know my rights, I know what's right. So I don't know if that can pull me up to 2 experience under that category. And I don't think I struggle with issues from my vice or traumas. So.
no, I would agree with that. I am going to say yes to the 2 XP there.
Okay.
Because I feel like very specifically what Maureen experienced tonight was, I mean, at least from my perspective, was a sense of outrage at
Mrs. Ward's,
Yeah, well, and the miscarriage of justice, essentially.
Yeah.
Which Duskfall bears a lot of resemblance to, like, say, I don't know, Gotham or whatever, right? Like, it's a dark city filled with dark people who don't do the right thing most of the time.
Yeah, and like blue coats are corrupt, and yet, literally, I'm fucking standing here. I didn't trespass. You're gonna shoot
you anyway.
me.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see that person again.
Yeah.
Even the score. I love it. John, over to you. You did. Oh, please.
So, did I address a challenge with stealth or evasion? I'd argue multiple.
I would agree. Yeah.
However, my beliefs, drives, heritages, or background? Not really today. And did I struggle with issues from my vice or traumas during the session? Not yet. I'm going to say that, I was acting pretty recklessly, but now it's a trauma.
Yes.
So I'm going to say I'd only pick up 2 this time around, but we might be seeing
How many other desperate XP did you get this session?
I got a whole bunch, so I'm going to mark 2.
I think we're doing pretty well. I would agree. I will say I want the reckless tag to mean something, and I you know it's going to, and I know it's going to, and we're going to make that happen.
I think we'll find a way to make that happen.
Find a way. Liz.
Hello. Addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem. I would say yes. My bombs
Both
would,
even, actually.
qualify.
Also, mayhem in summoning a... You didn't know what that tapping into the ghost
so
field
I
would
wanted
do.
to take that but apply it to either you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background in that Waif runs to the ghost field to help her when most normal individuals wouldn't do that, or you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session because her vice is weird.
I would
So I
push
think
that
either one.
instead. Yeah. I mean, it mechanically doesn't make a difference, but I would say that yes, this is your vice is indulging the weird.
Yeah.
And in a way that is very particular, right? But yeah, I agree with you. It's Waif's instinct to run to this force that's like she can't even control it.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I guess, but not usually.
Not usually.
Awesome.
Cool.
Oh, and crew XP, if you have that in front of you. We can do that. Did we carry out a burglary, espionage, theft,
Sabotage or theft? We stole our publican bag. I also stole the battery.
And a battery. Which, quick PS, we're going to have to figure out what it is.
Oh, we filled up our crew XP last time, so we have to actually spend it, which we hadn't done.
Right.
But I'll just mark for now.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. Kung Fu Fenris, I'm thrilled, though. Thank you, John. Yes, so we do need to, you guys get to choose a new special ability or upgrade, I believe.
Yep. We'll worry about that later.
Obviously, we're doing...
So we did execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft. Did we contend with challenges above our current station?
Yeah, we fucking did, in my opinion.
Did we bolster our crew's reputation or develop a new one?
What's your reputation?
Daring?
Now we're just idiots.
Well, I mean, insane. So you definitely have started getting... I would say your crew's rep is daring, but perhaps foolishly so. I think we're starting to develop a new reputation.
Did we express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew?
Yeah, because I would say Mrs. Ward is part of our drives.
There's no reason, like, I'm not
We
saying...
weren't getting paid to bring her back. Like, we
Yeah.
just did it because we
I'm not
care
saying
about
you'd leave her behind, obviously, but at the same time, a crew can do anything in Duskfall. You guys can pursue any thread that you want, or look at getting more turf for your crew, look at getting more people for your crew, etc. The fact that you chose to help the people, as it were, does feel like the essential nature of the crew. This is something I should mention. We did a lot of the, character creation and crew creation off stream, and when you create the crew, you're already entangled with some of the other gangs in the city, right? And these folks took faction status, negative faction status with the Bluecoats and with the race, but got positive faction status with the people and laborers of Six Towers, the working class of Duskfall. This feels very on brand, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, exciting. And now an upgrade or a special ability for the crew, which is so cool. I want to say that the armor thing I honestly shocked me. I know it is something you're allowed to do.
It's such a baller play.
I just totally was like as a cutter, you have like special armor always on you, so you can like always reduce, but no one's playing a cutter.
No
one's playing like a brawly physical type.
But I hadn't used any of my load because my fine cover identity costs 0 load, so I
gotta start getting you guys
all
to
of my light load.
spend load on something. No, it's good though.
But no, that's
I
because
love it.
he used the rope, and we chose to not use any of our load by gambling on him succeeding on that one insane action.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm really glad it did. We all
Yeah.
could have just died right at the
What?
get-go.
And that's the end of our
Yeah,
story.
that's it. Oh, well, there we go. Kung Fu Fenris, the contact from the crew is the bar owner, the tavern owner, Mrs. Ward. On the crew sheet, obviously, it's named something else, but I changed it because I like Mrs. Ward.
Yeah.
It was originally like Digny or Bigney,
Yeah.
Whatever, that could be
a
your
tavern
first name.
owner.
Dignity Ward!
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a goddamn blast tonight. And I think we talked
Thanks
a
to
lot
you.
about... No,
Yeah.
thank you guys. Really, it was a lot of fun.
Go team.
Thank you for the wonderful game.
2 sessions in a row that they've done it.
It's happening. It's going to be every session from now on.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. It's been a blast. I want to thank all the resubscribers, all the people who donated bits. I want to thank the Hype Train, and most importantly, I want to also thank Kung Fu Fenris, I should say, Rawr, and all of our mods here on RPG Clinic. I really want to thank raiders and new followers, people who came over from other tabletop channels. I don't know if I'm familiar with your channel. I'm going to be checking you folks out. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for being here. It's awesome. We have lots of stuff going on in the RPG Clinic community throughout the week. On Tuesday at 1800, you can follow me at twitch.tv/BiffTheBoss as Paul Prospero's Paranormal Probe continues. The quarry is getting bloody and horrible, and I've made some... I know you folks probably didn't watch the last session. There was like there was a puzzle that I didn't know was a puzzle until I was halfway through failing it. And I was like, oh no, it was just an absolutely brutal experience. And I am thrilled. What can we expect on Wednesday?
So Wednesday last week I had to miss. There were
Thank you.
other responsibilities. Wednesday this time around, I'll either have to be late or I'm going to have to pick another day. So it's very possible that I may pick a day that other people are not currently streaming in order to continue Cyberpunk 2077, because I don't want to miss 2 weeks. But it probably won't happen at the normal time because I think I will be in office on Wednesday. So
We can always chat about switching days to Mr. Jordan, but we'll figure that out.
yeah.
And I think that brings us to Friday.
Friday, we're continuing Guardians of the Galaxy with Punchy. And Saturday, we are continuing Crime in Queen's Court
on Drew Crew at 3 p.m.
Shortly thereafter, I have a stream as well. Doomed continues with the Crosshair on twitch.tv/BiffTheBoss, where we play Arkham Horror, the card game. And then on Sunday,
We will be right back here, this channel, this time, with more Blades in the Dark, Whispers in the Water, figuring out the fallout from this intense score, and seeing what we can do to move forward.
and what was the Wraith talking about? We'll have to find out as we listen to her this way.
We'll move forward
And
this
this
way.
way. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.